All right, welcome everyone. We are live. Welcome to Misfit Table, our second episode of Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark is a heist-oriented game. It sort of re-envisions what tabletop role-playing can be from the ground up with an eye specifically towards doing heists. There's a bunch of innovations that streamline heists. For instance, most notably, the players are actually not allowed to prepare. Instead, what you do is you pick how big your pack is, and then you pick the items that are in there on the fly. And if you run into a scene in the moment where you say there's a guard at the back door of the museum, you can do a flashback and pay a little bit of stress and talk about how that guard is actually a buddy of yours. And 3 nights ago, you met him at the bar and asked when his upcoming shifts were so that you could arrive here during his shift so that he can let you in the back door. That flashback gets you in the door. So you don't get to prep in advance. Instead, what you get is in the moment. If you can imagine what you could have done to prep for this, you can pay a tiny bit of stress and have done it. So that's the big difference between this and a normal RPG. Something more traditional like D&D or, many of them. Other than being oriented towards heists in particular, Blades in the Dark is set in a sort of late medieval, early modern fantasy version of this industrial urban city. Think London or Vienna or Prague are some of the examples that you can use as inspiration. Except it's about 1,000 times darker. The sun was actually destroyed. This is a world without a sun. Don't ask me how it survives. Complicated magical bullshit. That's basically the answer. A lot of eating mushroom and eel, apparently. Although our heroes are attempting to solve that problem a little bit, but more on that later. In addition to the sun being destroyed, when the sun went away, ghosts arrived. So this is a haunted city, and the city is far less haunted than the land outside the city. Outside, it is deadly. It is a wasteland. You have empty, dead lands haunted by ghosts and monsters. You have the Ink Sea, where leviathans roam. Those leviathans, though, are a key economic resource because one of the main ways that power is harnessed to power pseudo-electric things in the city is from ships going out hunting leviathans and bringing back leviathan blood, and that is used to power the spark that keeps the lightning fields around the city active, which keeps the ghosts out. Inside the city, there are special squadrons of the Wardens of the Dead, who come around and collect dead bodies before the spirits can rise as ghosts. But none of this is perfect. There's still ghosts roaming the streets. There's still people being born, living, and dying every minute of the day. And some of those are not caught in time, and ghosts do rise. It is a crowded, claustrophobic city, and the place where our heroes live is in a section called Coleridge, which is a very industrial section. Close, narrow streets, close brick tenements, stories high, coated with coal smoke. The coal mines and the coal factories are not as integral as they once were, now that there is Leviathan blood to provide sort of a magical source of power, but they are still used, and there are still many people who spend their lives working in the coal mines, breathing that dust, and just hoping they're not going to turn into a ghost once it eventually kills them. Last time, our heroes struck a blow against the bad conditions in this city and took a step towards making a better life for the people of Coleridge. Perhaps you guys would like to tell them about what you guys did last time.
Well, there was the Sunspark generator, and it was getting transferred on a train, and we stole it.
You sure did.
Yeah.
So now we have a Sunspark generator to power our many different scientific plots.
Yes, we have sunlight now, essentially, for our arboretum, where we grow many plants, many that are medicinal and recreational and illegal.
Oh, here I thought you were growing food.
We also grow food. I mean, we're equal opportunists, right? Food is important.
Yeah, like lots of citrus, got to avoid the scurvy, and lots of stuff rich in vitamin D now that there's no sunlight.
We have our hands in many things.
Mostly in the dirt.
Yes, mostly in the dirt, yes.
Remind me where your arboretum was. There was a cool location for it. Where?
It was on the south tip of Coleridge. Mm-hmm. Like where the river comes in and sort of feeds it.
So before it gets like super disgusting water.
But it was the old baths, right? Like inspired by the Sutro baths.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So you've got.
It was like an abandoned bathhouse that we took over.
Yeah, it's sort of this greenhouse, abandoned bathhouse on the coastal rocks, right at the tip where the river comes in.
Which seems like it should be prime real estate, yet here we are.
True story. Last time, one of the members of the party was not around. I'm going to go ahead and say, Brandon, you were not around because you were out on one of these Leviathan ships hunting for Leviathan blood. Does that work for you?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Your audio's not coming through.
My audio cut out again?
There it is.
Yeah.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, it came back. Weird. Okay.
Yes. Science and technology.
Cool. Is this thing on? Yes, demon blood is used in many occult rituals.
Now he's making it creepy.
Always.
So, Ross, was this your first outing on a Leviathan ship, or is this something you have done before?
Something I've done in the past.
Okay.
Maybe one. I don't know. I tend to forget things.
The whisper is cutting out the mic.
Whisper's cutting out?
It's the whisper, I think, that's causing it to drop out.
Gotcha. I'll just shout everything then. No.
Sage whisper!
Sage whisper! That was like death metal growl. Yes. I have probably hunted for Leviathan blood many times.
All right. This your crew has
Green thumb.
the green
Thank you.
thumb. That's right. You guys have connections to Leviathan hunting ships. One of the other members of your crew, the Shiv, Rob's character, is now out. He's a former Leviathan hunter sailor, and he is now absent, probably because he's now out on one of those ships. So you guys have some connections with the docks and with these ships. So it's not unusual, but for you, Ross, I think acquiring some of that demon blood for yourself, you know how powerful it is. You know how to use it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the newest member of the crew, at least to the audience. Who are you?
Oh, I'm a bit of a fallen academic. A once very learned, very studious individual throughout my school years. I fell into learning about the occult, and, well, we all know how the cliches go there, don't we? I rather lost myself in the teachings, and I would rave incoherently into the darkness, searching for ghosts, spirits, some way to glean information from beyond the grave. I now traffic in occult, magical artifacts, whether purchasing or stealing, sometimes to sacrifice for rituals, other times to gain the coin, well, to eat. Eldritch gods don't usually like feeding their supplicants.
Yeah, he's weird, but he's handy, so we keep him around.
I actually took the vice weird, so it's perfect.
Nice. And Chad and Callie, would you guys like to say just a little bit about your characters for people who are just joining us?
Sure. Yeah. My character is Alona. They call her the Vine. She used to be of a upper class, but abandoned it all because she has very little tolerance for hypocrisy. And she had always loved growing plants. She found that she could feed the people of Coleridge if she used some of her knowledge of plants in other ways. She divorced her husband, took what money she could, set up, her practice, and has been able to deal with many different aspects of this world. She can kind of blend in to different levels of society, which can come in handy when you're trying to smuggle goods in and out of different parts of the city.
Yes, you're definitely the face of the group. You just hear from the shadows.
To people before, and it just did not go over very well. I've taken over that portion.
Yes. I can talk with the dead, though.
Which I appreciate.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alder Brace. You can call me Weed. I grew up on the mean streets of this Coleridge town and at an early age discovered that I had a facility for growing things. At an early age, I got hooked on many different drugs. And I discovered that with a little time and practice, I could make much better drugs. And so I did that. And then, well, that sort of grew into a bit of an enterprise. You can call me a bit of a scientific entrepreneur, but it took some time to build a network of trade, and I needed people and help, which is why I grouped up with these people, because they could get things done in a way that I couldn't. I supplied the goods, they supplied the trade. It all works out.
Very nice.
Also, does anybody want some of this? Because this is prime.
We need to feed a spear.
That was a ghost of a bush. If you want to talk to that, that's.
So this time around, we have the luxury of just a little bit more time than we did last time because we're spending less of the beginning on character creation. So one of the things I want to do is just take it a little slower and make a little more time for role playing to really get into the environment. So it is a typical. So let's see. It's been a couple of months since the last session. You stole the Sunspark engine from the Evangelina family and installed it in your arboretum, and it has been creating this radiant light throughout your arboretum ever since, where you have just a multitude of plants growing. These plants have strongly contributed to the prosperity of your group. You guys have been able to provide fresh, delicious food at affordable prices to the local neighborhood. Many of the people in the province of Coleridge now are able to put produce on their plates because of you. You've also been able to grow some other things that you can sell for a little bit more and turn a bit more of a profit on. There's a bit of you that's been kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because you stole this from the Evangelina family, but they're still there. They're they had their own plans for this Sunspark engine. So there's a little bit of a sensation that there's still trouble brewing. They haven't made their move yet, but you're pretty sure they're not out of the game, But it's been a couple of months. It's been weirdly quiet. You've had time to be successful with this, to grow some produce with it. Maybe you're even starting to think, hey, maybe they've forgotten. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe they're not going to take an action. Maybe you're actually going to get to keep this thing and get away with it. Or maybe they don't know who you are. Whatever it is, maybe you've gotten away with it. So it's just at that point that your friend Ross the Raving Kalkan comes back from his voyage abroad. You're a little surprised to see him at first because you hadn't heard any word of the Leviathan Hunter ship he was on getting back, but perhaps he just beat the news here. He's been back just for a little while, maybe one day and one night so far, and it's a sort of normal morning. What are each of you doing in the Arboretum when you first awaken? What's this morning look like?
Well,
keeping in mind there's no sunlight. The morning is when you get up.
One of the first things that I do every day is to check the paneling on the exterior of our lair to make sure that, nothing's been compromised. Everything's in place. There are no cracks that would let light out that would give us away. Perimeter check done. I'm checking over the plants, tending to things here and there, a little pruning here, little, fertilizer, watering, spraying down, giving some love to everyone, making sure that everything's coming along nicely. Just, routine maintenance, making notes, seeing how that one hybrid over there that I've got going is coming along. Seems to be pretty potent by the smell of it. You guys might want to stand back a little bit, unless you're into that kind of thing, then come on over here. Stuff like that.
When I get up in the morning, I make myself some tea. I get dressed, which takes quite a while because I no longer have servants. And unfortunately, a lot of my clothing was designed with servants in mind. So that can take quite a while. And I just kind of go about my morning very slowly and calmly. And I tend to my bonsai trees and I check in on the garden and I make sure that all the locks are still secure and nobody snuck in during the night.
I like that you're walking around.
A little paranoid.
You're walking around, like checking on things, and like, could you just get that 3 clasps in the back for me, please?
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Sometimes I do have to ask for help.
Incidentally, let me also throw out there, with your increased prosperity, you've been able to grow your crew a little bit. We're going to treat this the same way as we treat equipment and a lot of things in this game, where we don't need to decide right now who they are. But if it comes up, you can say, here's one of the new people we've hired, or here's a type of new person we've hired. That's a resource in your back pocket. You've been able to grow your crew a bit.
All right. I check on new hires and I also bring them tea.
All right. Fantastic.
Now, is it your tea or my tea?
It is definitely my tea, because your tea isn't exactly conducive to their productivity.
Well, there's a couple different kinds. I mean, there's the ones where, it's like, it's been a long day and I just want to conk out. Or there's the ones where like, I'm just getting going and it was a rough night and I need a little, pick me up to.
Yes. Also, could you label those a little bit better?
Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You remember.
I've forgotten which jars are which, so I just kind of blend all of them together in this.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Oh, Ross. By the way, welcome back.
Yeah, how was the trip, Ross?
Oh, it was a trip, that's for sure. And Ross, and every morning that he wakes up from his, weird, restless sleep. He maybe sleeps for like an hour or 45 minutes at a time, wakes up for a couple hours and falls back asleep again. he will wake up and light a black candle that sits on like a little bronze skull. And he will reach into a pouch or reach for a pouch that he has. He will walk around the compound and reach into the pouch, which has a mixture of ashes of different beings or plants or whatnot. And he will just draw little arcane sigils in places as little wards. He'll do that every morning. So there are little spots in certain corners that are just like smudged black at this point. Because he's like, nope, there's something coming in through here. Ward that off, or something over here. Ward that off. Oh, I don't remember the trip. Well, the back end of it, or how I got here. How did I get here? Did I just wake up here?
I don't know. We came in yesterday and you were just sort of like folded over the end of the couch. You sleep weird, man.
Yes, I do. When I do. Do I sleep?
Sometimes.
We've seen
You can tell
it
by the
here.
farts.
I think that's your tea, Weed.
Yeah.
Every time.
It just, clears out the system.
It really does. It really does.
Detox and retox. That's my motto.
So one of you has an errand to run out and do. Which one of you is it? And what's the errand you're going off to do?
Oh, well, so one of the things, since we've become more prosperous and have been able to supply the local population, we're doing this mostly anonymously so that we can keep a low pro. So we have a daily, we're smugglers, smuggler run of delivering produce to a couple different shops in the area where they can disperse it, but also within that are medicinal herbs that get handed to the right people. So I'm out on a delivery run.
Okay. When you go out on the delivery run, you see the local news girl riding up on her bicycle. Newspaper, newspaper, she calls out. Get your news here. Morning, Weed. She hops off.
Hey, Greta, how's it going?
She's calling out like she's calling to the whole city, even though like you're at the end of a road. You're clearly the only person around. She hops off her bike and hands over the news. Do you give her the coin for it?
Oh, absolutely. Double. Always double.
She says, thank you, as always. She tips her little cap to you. There's a piece in here you might be interested in. I thought about. She flips through it to the third page where there's an article about the Evangelina family. It appears that they have fallen on hard times and are selling the Bowmore house.
What?
She
That
says,
is it.
She says, yeah, just thought you might be interested. How's your day going?
Same as it ever was. How's the peddling business? The peddling and the peddling, because the bike and also the...
Hey, I see what you did there.
I'm still working on puns. I don't know how that works.
Not too bad, not too bad. There was another sighting of the Weeping Lady last night.
Weeping Lady?
Yeah.
Really?
She was going down the street, just sobbing like she does. No eyes. This is the first time I saw her. Nobody ever told me before she didn't have any eyes. It was pretty creepy.
Where'd you see her?
Oh, just down on Bell Avenue.
Bell Ave. Okay.
Spooked some of the local kids, but then one of the gangs came out and tried to start throwing rocks at her and stuff. She didn't stick around for that. I thought she was going to fry all their brains, but not this time. They're good luck, I guess.
One of the kids' gangs or one of the gangs?
Nah, just some of the kids. Not one of the real gangs. I mean,
okay.
They think they're real. You ask them, they're all that. But they wouldn't have done anything if the Weeping Lady was the kind to actually cause harm.
All right. Good tip. And I'm going to slip her a few more coins. Like, listen, if you ever see any more of this Weeping Lady, just, let me know if you would.
She says, sure thing. Hey, have you, she's getting back on her bike and she stops for a moment and she says, have you ever seen any ghost in a gas mask?
I can't say that I have.
I heard a couple people talking about it recently. There might be a new ghost in town. I haven't heard of that one.
Okay. Well, say hi to your mom, and I'm going to give her, a little bag of fruit.
All right. She gives you a big grin and says, thanks. I will do. I'm off. She goes pedaling away.
Be safe. So I will finish my rounds and go back to base.
Okay.
And fill the rest of the crew in.
Give me a little fortune roll to see how well your rounds go.
How many dice?
I think that a fortune roll is 2 dice. Let me see if it says that in my cheat sheet here. Nope. Let's just say 2 dice.
Okay. That's a 6.
Perfect. It goes off without a hitch. You get your deliveries taken care of. When you get back and fill in the others, anything in particular you want to highlight?
The Evangeline people here, I'll hand you the article and say they're selling the, what was it? The Beaumont estate?
The Bowmore House.
Bowmore House.
One of
I was getting Beaumont. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. So in the neighborhood that they live in, there are, I think it's 6 towers. There's just a little background. It used to be one of the most illustrious neighborhoods in Doskval, but it's like decayed centuries ago to where now it's relatively poor, but still has some of the trappings of grandeur like still remaining. There's only a handful of truly nice manors still remaining, and the Beaumont House is one of them. So owning it was a huge feather in their cap. It's definitely a sign of them falling on hard times to be selling it. And Callie, if you remember, you knew Tess Evangelina. She was a special rival of yours, a bitter woman full of her own self-importance with a knack for a sharp tongue that knew how to find people's injuries and hurt them.
And she had a daughter too, right? That we ran into?
2 daughters, Belle and Star. Yeah, you ran into one of them when you were stealing the engine.
Yeah, and I suspect the daughter of murder, don't I?
You do.
Yeah. Can I look into why they might be selling the Beaumont estate? Like, have I heard any gossip? I specialize in gossip. That's my vice. Oh, what happened?
Was getting something ready for later, and it dropped in the wrong place. Sorry about that. Yes, you can. Do you want to do some asking around?
I do.
How do you want to go about this?
Some of my old contacts. I think probably what I'll do is go to the public tea house in the nicer sector and kind of look up some of my old friends and then very casually drop in conversation some of the gossip I learned about the Beaumont estate.
All right. Go ahead and make me well, I guess you get to decide. What action would you like to make in order to attempt this?
Consort?
Yes, that seems very appropriate.
Right? And I also get 3 dice in it.
Ooh, beautiful. I will say this is risky.
Okay.
It's not controlled because by asking questions, you're potentially also exposing yourself.
Right.
But the effect is potentially, I'd say, just normal effect. It could work or it might not. Remember, this is a great time to take a step back and remind both you and our audience of some of the rules around ways to get bonuses on your rolls if you want a little extra. There's 2 ways to get bonuses on a roll. One is to spend stress. And you can either spend the stress yourself, you spend 2 stress to get a bonus die. That's called pushing yourself. Or someone else can spend stress to help you. So one of your teammates could spend 1 point of stress to give you a bonus die, representing their help. So it's a little more efficient if somebody else is able to help you. But you can't do both. Only one person can spend stress to boost the roll. But the other way to get a bonus die, potentially, is to make a devil's bargain. If you make a devil's bargain, you propose a consequence that happens regardless of whether you succeed or fail. And if I accept the bargain, you get a bonus die on the roll. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the consequence, like things that could happen with a devil's bargain, could be you might suffer harm, you might pay coin or pay an item, you might betray a friend or loved one. There could be collateral damage or unintended harm. You might offend someone or anger a faction. Or you might gain heat. So there's an abstract concept called heat in this game, which is how much heat does your crew have? How much attention is on them? How much anger is on them? So like something that could make sense in this case would be you're asking certain people in a way that's going to draw attention. It's actually going to raise, you could, for example, propose a devil's bargain where you are going to add heat to your crew by the questions you're asking, and you get a bonus die, just as an example.
Okay.
Or you want to distribute some coin around to loosen tongues. Get a bonus die, but you lose the money whether it succeeds or not. See what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to spend any stress. This is already kind of like my purview. So I'm just going to give it to the gods and hope for the best.
All right. And you're doing consort for this, right?
Consort, yes.
Great.
Oh, no. My highest dice is a 3, so I do that, but that's a consequence, right?
3 is actually failure.
It's a failure. Oh no! It was 2 1s and a 3.
Oh, that's rough.
It's so rough. I should have known better to talk about the Evangelina family, considering they know that I stole their Sunspark engine. And
oh dear.
Oh dear God! I should have spent stress. The gods hate me, apparently.
So, under risky, this was a risky position. 3 means things go badly. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you end up in a desperate position, or you lose this opportunity. You go around asking some questions, and you feel sure you have drawn the wrong sort of attention. You get looks. When you just drop certain words, there are people who listen. And some of your old friends are apparently not as friendly as you assumed. And as you're walking away, you have this thought in the back of your mind. If the Evangelina family didn't know it was us who stole the spark engine, they do now.
Oh no. Well, is the risk. Oh dear. All right.
As you're on your way back, it's hard to tell what time of day or night it truly is, because it's basically always night here. But the streets seem to be unusually quiet. And you take a little, to get to where you live, you need to go through some pretty empty areas. You take a turn down a little side alley that you sometimes take when you want to just take a little shortcut. And the street's totally empty tonight, which doesn't raise any eyebrows, really. It's a pretty not populous area anyway. Until... Well, let me rephrase that. It's a residential area, so it's only a lot of people around in like the twilight times when people are leaving for work or coming back from work. Right now, it's totally empty. Doesn't really raise any eyebrows until you see a single figure walking towards you down at the end of the street. Just one, looks like a woman, probably, maybe a young woman, right in the middle of the road, walking towards you, silhouetted from behind, so you can't really get a good look at her.
Okay. I'm just, could I have had a small dagger on me just in case?
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's reasonable to say you have at least a light loadout as you go out on this.
Definitely a light loadout. So I just have like a little blade. And I'm just going to, reach my hand in my pocket and just, keep my eye on her as I approach.
All right. As you're getting closer, you can't seem to get a look at her. Again, she's illuminated from behind, so you just see this silhouette. Are you staying in the middle of the road, just like walking straight at her, or are you going to go to one side or the other, or...
I'll be polite and go to one side. I'm going to go to the side where there's the most houses in case I need to duck into them. All
right. You are walking down the street, you're getting closer, and you hear a little, you hear some sounds from one of the houses off to your left. You're going to like the left side of the street, and you hear a sound in one of the houses, and you look over instinctively for a second before you realize it's just somebody in there banging a pot and pan around. And when you turn your head to look back, the girl is suddenly right next to you.
No!
And you can see that on her face, she's now 3/4 illuminated from behind. So you can just see her face, except you can't see her face. It's completely concealed by a gas mask. She's not moving at all. She's just staring at you.
You spooked me. Do you need something? Are you lost?
She takes a small step toward you and starts to lift a hand, reaching out as if to touch you.
Do you need help?
And then she vanishes.
I get my composure. I know ghosts are a thing, so I just kind of swipe my skirts. I look around, and I kind of say under my breath, I thought the walls were supposed to keep the ghosts out. Maybe they're not functioning at capacity. And I just kind of shake it off and keep walking.
All right. You keep going, and you get home without any further trouble. Go about your business. Does anything that happened change your behavior over the next couple days, or do you go about business as normal?
Oh, she's just business as normal.
Okay.
She does talk about it, though, and it gets spookier every time she talks about it. Because she likes the attention it gives her.
Brandon, you go. Russ.
I would like to try to use one of my special abilities, if I can, but I don't know if I can because of the lightning wall.
Ooh, what ability?
I will use Compel, where I can attune to the ghost field to force a nearby spirit to appear and obey a command that I give it.
Okay.
I am not supernaturally terrified by a spirit that I summon or compel, though my allies may be.
Hold on. I'm gonna prep for this.
But I will do this in the secret of my room. I will light a couple black candles, place some blood on a silver plate, and draw a line.
All right.
While he's doing this, and Alona comes in talking about that, I'm like, so the bicycle girl, the peddler, Newsy, she told me about a new masked ghost that she saw and people have been talking about. What did this guy look like? Girl.
Oh, she had a very terrible gas mask on. And, of course, my heart went out to her. I tried to help her, but she didn't say a thing. Just right up next to me, then disappeared.
Disappeared right in front of your eyes.
Just right in front of my eyes like that. No one else around on the street. I'm glad other people have seen her. Otherwise, I thought, I would have thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah, no. You're not the first one I've heard this from. That's interesting. Snuff?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
There are a handful of ghosts that are sort of like known fixtures in the community. The Weeping Lady is one of them. There's a couple others. But it's unusual for a new ghost to show up. That and sometimes new ghosts can spell trouble because the ghosts that have been around for a while, you kind of know that they're, more or less harmless. They at least they haven't hurt anybody yet, and it's been a while, right? But when a new ghost shows up, sometimes they're dangerous.
How do ghosts normally show up? It's like they sneak through the wall, or they were killed recently inside the wall?
Yeah, typically it's someone dies inside the wall, and the corpse wardens don't get to them in time.
Got it.
I will say, Callie, there was something just a tiny bit familiar about her. Hard to place, though, because, you couldn't see her face. From her figure, it could have been any young woman, just about. Not any, but you didn't get a chance to really get a close look at her clothing or her body type or anything like that. But there was something, you can't shake the feeling that there was something a tiny bit familiar, like maybe you've seen this person before.
I relay that to Weed, and I say, I wonder if I've run into this little girl before. It's too bad that she met her end. I just can't place her, though. I know so many people in town.
People die in the city every day.
That's true. But it is always sad when it's a child.
Well, let me clarify. Not a child. She probably looked about 20.
Oh, you said young woman.
Isn't a young woman about 20?
I guess. A young girl.
Girl, woman.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think you said girl.
Well, I think I may have said girl, but not young girl. Young woman.
So young woman, not young girl.
Yes, not a young girl.
Young woman, little girl. Let's make that distinction.
Yes.
Not a little girl.
Okay, so it was a young woman.
Yeah, but again, it could be, it could have been someone, you might have seen her selling bread. You have no idea why or where you saw her before. It could have been anywhere. Or if it's even an illusion.
Couple of questions. How could you tell it was female? If it was wearing a mask?
Silhouette?
Silhouette.
Yeah.
Just hourglass figure? Diminutive?
We wear corsets in this world, I suppose, because it's sort of like a pseudo.
All right, so lift and bundle situation. Got it. Okay. Color? I know it was dark in a dark alley, but any patterns on the clothing or anything like that? Like a tartan something?
You could make out very few details. About the only detail you could probably make out was kind of slender shoulders. Feminine in appearance. It's about the part you saw.
Excuse me, has anyone seen a young woman with kind of slender shoulders? Anyone? Everyone? Okay, great. Thanks for all your help.
Well, if I run into her again, maybe I can get a better look at her.
Are cameras a thing in this world?
I'm not sure what the official answer is. I'm going to say yes, but at the state that camera technology was in the 1890s.
Probably like silver plate.
Can you hold still for 5 minutes?
Hold still, flash in the pan, the hood over, it's a whole thing you got to set up.
I want to start tinkering. I have some ideas on this. Capturing light on bioluminescent leaves through a pinhole device.
Nice.
Well, before you get distracted with your latest tinkering
Yeah, what?
there, I was asking around about the Evangelina family, and just to let you know, I may have tipped our hand a little bit. I'm a little worried. I was getting a lot more looks than I normally do when I'm at the tea house. I'm quite well known there and popular, and I did not get the feeling that people enjoyed my inquiries.
Or perhaps the feeling that they enjoyed them too much.
That too.
Little too interested.
A little too interested, or not, or pointedly not interested, and it wasn't a middle ground there.
Okay. Bruto, Snouter, new hires, come here, please.
Bruto and Snouter come up. Who are these two?
Bruto is he's a big guy, not too bright, but punch like a donkey's kick. And Snouter, he's a paunchy, pig-faced kind of guy. Nose is broken to one side from one too many punches to the face, but he's good at like noticing things.
All right.
He's lost all sense of smell, which is why he loves hanging out around the more potent areas of the garden, because contact high. But but his eyesight is keen, and I'm just like, boys, we may have some visitors soon, so I just want you to keep an extra pair of eyes out.
Bruto says, what kind of visitors, boss?
People trying to break in and take all our stuff.
Oh, the punchin' kind.
Exactly.
Snouter says, yeah, boss, anything you know about them?
Probably high society, like they're probably not going to be covered in shit like the rest of us.
Snobs then.
Yeah.
I mean, they can also hire others. They have staff.
Yeah, and what are they going to hire? The high money kind that are, like you have to pay more for the good ones kind of thing. No offense to you two gentlemen. You're cream of the crop as far as I'm concerned.
And I am paying you a living wage.
Which is, I mean, that's a lot more than a lot of people get in this city. So,
Snouter says,
one for all of us all around.
A living wage and free access to the topiary. Am I right?
Exactly.
Just sniffing. I'm not taking any.
Hey,
not on the job.
Help yourself within, moderation.
Bruto says, what's in the topiary? Snouter's like, don't worry about it, buddy. Don't worry.
Bruto, you remember how you were having back pain the other day? And
yeah.
And I gave you that tea and then you slept for a day and a half? That's what's in the topiary.
Can I have more of that tea, boss?
Yeah, just not right now, though.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, I believe Ross is doing some sort of ritual.
Yes.
All right. Describe your ritual for us. What exactly are you doing here, and what is the intent behind it?
Okay. So, in my weird hovel of a room next to the lumpy mattress, I have an altar space that is like an ironwood block with a black cloth draped over it and a silver plate and a couple little skulls and black candles coming out of the skulls. And I light each of the candles in a specific order and cut my finger and then draw a line across the plate. And I hold my hands up, do a couple hand symbols, and then
finger cutting. Yeah.
Hold my hands across. and I will speak into the ether and say, no, I had a thing. I had a thing for it.
Ooh.
Behind the veil, I will see clearly. Yield to me what I seek dearly. And I will command the nearest spirit to me to look for a ghost in a gas mask. And I don't know, try to glean any kind of ghost information they can exchange with each other and return to me as soon as it has said information. So I think I need to make an attune check.
Make an attune check.
Okay.
And I am not going to be public about the position or effect on this one.
Okie doke. I know this is like a big one. I feel like this is kind of like divine intervention level request here, but I get to roll 3 dice.
Nice.
Are you spending any stress to make that 4?
Yeah. So it's 2 stress.
It's 2 stress to push yourself.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was, if it was 1 for 1, yes, but all right. Ooh, I got a 3, 5, and a 5.
Okay. So that falls under the category of 5, which is success with a complication. However, your character doesn't know that, right? Okay, so you reach out and you attune to the spiritual field around you. And absolutely nothing changes. You sit there for a while.
Like a flicker in the candles. Usually there's some kind of response, but there's nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. All for naught. Fine. I'll return to the others. They probably have some good ideas. And I will wander upstairs and join the rest of them.
All right.
Do you tell us about your ritual or no?
Well, hold on. As you as you're leaving, you sit there for a minute, reaching out, feeling out, trying to attune, feeling like you are attuned, but something's not quite right. You can't put your finger on it. Finally, you're like, I guess I'm going to call it. I guess I'm going to go see the others. As you're leaving, you make a quick stop in the bathroom because you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that mushroom tea caught up to me.
When you are washing your hands and about to go out, you look up and see yourself in a mirror, and you are wearing a gas mask. And that is where we're going to call break.
Ah! Oh no! Dun dun dun!
All right.
I like that.
It was me the whole time.
5-minute break, everyone. Let's just take a few minutes, and we will see you again soon. Also, thank you to Zero Lane so much.
Yeah,
that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Yeah, we'll catch you back here in just a few.
Cool.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, ready to continue with the adventure. So, after that, things more or less return to normal. There is a bit of a calm time, which in retrospect you would look back upon as the calm before the storm. But tragedy does not strike until you return from an unrelated score. You're doing one of your smuggling jobs. All hands on deck, the team's out. You succeed. Well, let's find out. You roll fortune. Somebody roll 2 dice for fortune for me.
Go ahead, Kelly.
No, last time I did so badly.
Should I?
5.
You pull it off fairly well. Not without complication, but you pull it off. You get through it. You come out at the end of the day. It's anybody would call this a win. But when you get back to your hideout, something isn't right. The door is wide open, and there's no lights on inside.
All right. I'm going to pull out one of my special vape pens. And take a big puff and then slowly walk inside as quietly as I can.
Okay.
Looking for anything out of place.
The smell of blood is the first thing you notice. And it's totally dark in there.
Try the lights.
The lights are out. Not working. Brandon?
So I have an ability called Ghost Mind that I'm always aware of supernatural entities in my presence. I get an additional die when I gather info about the supernatural. Would I be able to do that at this point? Could I like skulk around the house? Like how would I like study or survey to see if I get any like sense if this is like a supernatural thing or if somebody's like sabotaged us?
Yeah, you could use either of those. Study would be more like examine a particular thing, I think, whereas survey would be more like look at everything.
Okie doke. So I will roll 2. So that's a 5. And that's a 1. So 5?
5. That is success with potentially a complication. I'd say this is a controlled situation. I guess I can't think of a lot of like backlash from this. It's pretty controlled, so it would be minor anyway, but you feel confident that it was not supernatural forces which did this. The supernatural aura around here does not seem especially disturbed. It seems to be consistent with what you're used to. This was likely done by physical causes.
I want to get physical. I want to...
No, all right.
Well,
Too soon?
Spirits had nothing to do with this. This was physical hands.
Could I know of a place where I could grab an oil lantern?
you're pretty far from most things. Like standing here, you hear the crash of the surf against the rocks and the calling of mutated gulls. It's pretty, I mean, there's a reason the newsy girl rides her bike out here. Mm-hmm. You'd have a bit of a hike to get. I mean, it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes walk to the nearest buildings. Probably 5 more minutes.
I meant in our building.
Oh, in your... Yeah, you could probably feel your way to a place where you keep a lantern.
Okay. I'm going to pull out one of my bioluminescent plants. Stroke it leaves to warm it up. It creates a small glow. Doesn't light up the entire area, but just like a little bit in front of us to be able to see by like basically candlelight.
Sure. It is a glow enough that you see the body on the ground before you bump your foot into him.
Who is it?
When you get there, it is Bruto.
No.
And lying in a pool of his own blood, and his throat has been slit from ear all the way to ear.
Bruto, we hardly knew you.
Oh, God.
Would there be any way I can talk with his spirit?
Ooh, interesting. Potentially.
I do have compel. I don't know if you would allow me to pull his spirit out of his body or wherever it might be, just to ask him a question.
You can attempt that. It partially depends on factors outside your control, like how much his spirit is still present.
Okay. Cool. Compel check again.
I would say this is fairly controlled situation, standard effect.
Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. I got a 5, a 3, and a 1. The 5?
All right. Excuse me. You reach out. You find...
Oh, I've got a thing.
Yes.
I've got a thing. I will twist his head and put my hand on his throat and pry his eyes open and stare directly into his face and say, "To hail the dead, I twist my tongue. Converse with me, your rest undone."
Oh.
I mean,
I take a step back and I just say, "Gosh, how did we become friends?"
what are you talking about? I love this guy.
Friends.
He's our kind of weird. Settle down, sister. Carry on. Talk with dead guys.
Bruto's spirit is pretty far already. It was on its way. But you can rest it back long enough to ask one question.
Who did this?
He says, and you hear his voice echoing as if from far away, "I didn't know him, boss."
And I thunk his head back on the table. "Damn it, Bruno, you idiot."
I like that, like, you thunk him back and there's a little splash of blood and some gets on your face and you're like, yeah.
My meat.
Are we sure that was his blood? Could you check that again? All right.
Drag my finger through his throat.
No, can we?
No, not the ones on the throat, the ones on the ground. Is there more blood? Like, do we find more bodies?
Yeah, there's a whole pool of it, and I drag my hand through it. Look.
Oh God! I look away.
Brandon.
Actually, I have some plants that would love this. I mean, I know maybe it's a little bit too soon, but it just like that's a different time. Go ahead. Sorry,
Brandon. At a point of stress.
Okay. Or being a fucking crazy person.
Unknown reasons. Just at a point of stress.
I'm gonna look around and I'm gonna say, I bet they came after the Sunspark engine. We should go see. We should go try to see if it's here. But they could still be here, so get out your weapons.
what do you think I'm doing? I take another hit off that vape pen.
I slap it out of his hand.
I reach over and I pick it up off the ground and I scuttle away.
Good.
Brandon, take another point of stress.
Okay.
So I'm going to breathe into my hand and then touch Alona on her arm. And where I touch her, it begins to tingle.
Ooh.
Leave my vape pens alone.
I'll hand it back. The weed.
Then focus.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right, fine. Whatever helps you get through it.
So you guys proceed with all caution. You find that the place is dark. It has been ransacked. The people, you left a skeleton crew to guard it while most of your crew was away. But all the people who you left behind are dead. You find their bodies. And the Sunspark engine is gone.
Damn it.
In its place, you just find a little box. It's kind of yellow with colorful patterns on it. It's got a little lid, and it's got a little handle sticking out the side that looks like it could be cranked.
Do I recognize what this could be? I'm going to go up to it, but I'm going to be very cautious in case it's rigged as like a bomb. I'm going to like look around and make sure it's not a bomb.
It's not attached to anything else. There could be explosives inside it.
I think if they wanted to blow up the place, they would have done so already. And if they wanted to attack us, they could have done that at any time. I feel like this is a message.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm being overly cautious. But still, I take out a little knife and I still open it with the little knife and kind of do it from a distance.
You can't seem to get the lid to open.
Huh.
I'm going to put on some of my gloves. Also, one quick question. Since there's dead bodies and blood everywhere, do we see like footprints leading out?
You know, you actually don't. But it's not like you definitely would. If they were careful about how and when they cut open the bodies, they could have avoided stepping in the blood.
Sure. All right. Well, I'm going to go over to the box, gloves on.
Okay. You start turning the handle and you hear a cheerful little tune start playing as you're turning the handle.
No.
I'm also going to mask my face, like stop, like put on one of my face masks.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You crank it. It starts playing through the tune. It's a familiar little sort of Pop Goes the Weasel kind of tune. And it pops open and this little Jack-in-the-Box clown figure pops out with its clownish face and a little red nose and long ears and little red hands and a cap on a like slinky kind of spring, and it just starts bouncing back and forth laughing. And then boom, it explodes.
I knew it.
So here's where we talk about damage and how you take damage. You guys have a chance to try to make some sort of roll to mitigate the damage from this explosion. Is there anything you can try to do that you want, that you think would help in this situation?
Okay.
I'm going to try and use finesse.
I think one thing that we could have nearby that could come in handy is this is a former bathhouse that we turned into an arboretum. Maybe there's big, like, fake pools of water, like little ponds and stuff, because we tried to make it cute and pretty, too.
Well, and also we need those for
we need them. Yeah.
Growing things, yeah.
Yeah. Like a koi pond or something.
Okay. How would that help in this case?
We get blasted into the
pond. Well, right now I'm giving you the chance to make a resistance roll. So you can pick an action to take that you could plausibly do in the moment it explodes to help minimize the damage that you take.
Yeah, I think I might have to do finesse as well.
Okay. Kind of with the idea that you're jumping away from the, like, flat, throwing yourself to the ground, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm throwing myself in a koi pond.
In a koi pond. Excellent.
I had a feeling it was a bomb.
I think realistically, there would not be time when an explosion happens to throw yourself in a koi pond, but maybe there's just a second of like a smelling an explosive before it goes. Something to give you a little warning.
Yeah. I'm going to, if I may, the vape pen that I've been sucking on exudes. It causes me to sweat profusely, which gives my skin an extra layer of defense against percussion and force.
Okay, this is going to be limited effect.
All right.
Go ahead and roll it.
Can I spend 2 stress so I can get another die?
Yes.
Okay.
I will also spend a couple stress. Ooh,
Brandon,
4.
I think I was sort of imagining you a little bit farther back. You never said anything about going up, so I'm not going to make you roll for this. For Chad, for you, this is a desperate position because you are holding the box. For Callie, for you, this is risky because you're a step back.
Okay. I got a 1 and a 6, so 6.
Perfect. You dive into the koi pond and you escape damage. The wave of fire washes over you. You can see it looking up through the surface of the koi pond. You see the wave of fire wash over you. Chad or Weed, what was your result?
4.
Okay. So that's success, but with a consequence. I think the way this is going to come out is just that you take harm. You go ahead and take a level 2 harm, which is burned hands.
Okay.
You manage to drop it quickly enough that your hands are not destroyed by the explosion, but they are burned. Otherwise, your smoke and sweat infused clothes manage to soak up most of the blast, though you are badly singed and blackened all over, but your hands are severely burnt. Anything that's going to use your hands is going to be at -1 die.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
rough.
All right. Well, that's okay. I'm still smart enough. I can get other people to do my work if I tell them how to do it correctly, which nobody ever does. But that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. We're all fine here. I have some salves. I'm
okay. Are you okay?
No, I'm actually in quite a bit of pain.
Oh.
Can I get some aloe for his wounds?
You can.
Just
You
at
are
least to help
actually
with the pain.
in a place that is uniquely well equipped to deal with this. What action do you want to take for that?
Study, maybe?
Sure.
That's learning, right?
Yeah.
So I would know what to do with burns.
Yeah.
2?
No. I'm going to use my tinker to guide her in creating. All right, you're going to take that plant. You're going to snip off that bit of it. You're going to grind that up in a pestle. You're going to get a couple of these jars, that one and that one, not that one, not that one. All right, and then grind those up. And then until it gets nice and gooey, add a little water in until, it gets sort of gelatinous. That's a 6 for tinker.
Nice. Sort of guiding her how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're able to go ahead and apply some aloe to this and mitigate at least it getting any worse.
And then just bandage it up. And now I've got mitten hands.
Oh.
So you guys have a new problem on your hands, which is how to figure out who did this and where you can find them. I mean, unless you're just going to let the Sunspark engine go. But they've also killed 3 of your people. Most of your people are fine, but there were 3 here that were on guard, and they are dead.
Well, I'm like dripping wet and pissed. I'm looking around and I'm like, it's got to be the Evangelina family. We took it from them, they took it back, and they took revenge. But I don't understand their message to us with the stupid bomb. I didn't think bomb making was in their...
This seems too... what's the word I'm looking for? Rooty tooty, like not straightforward. I think whoever did this wants us to think it's the Evangelina family. Like, you were in that cafe and you said a bunch of people were listening in on your conversation and took more interest than they probably should have. So it could have been anyone that was in that place. Possibly with something to gain by doing a solid for the Evangelina family. But I feel like they would have acted indirectly. Is this too much?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Chad, as you're thinking out loud through this, you've managed to get a couple lamps going. You're sort of looking around thinking, and you catch a glimpse of movement. I assume you look closer at it?
Oh, yeah. And I'll point with a mitten-covered hand.
Well, before you even have a chance to point, your eyes flick up to it, and you see a mirror hanging on the wall in a place where you have a mirror. And in the mirror, you see a young woman in a gas mask walking in your room behind you to your left.
I'm just going to run in that direction.
You flip in that direction, and there's no one there.
I come back and look in the mirror.
No one.
What was that about?
You guys see that? There was a kind of slender shouldered figure in a mask in the mirror, and then I turned around. She wasn't there, and then I turned around and she wasn't there.
The ghost followed us home? Well, me home?
Did you bring a ghost into my arboretum?
Not purposely. They have a mind of their own. Obviously.
Are they friendly?
Wait. Didn't you do a thing to talk to ghosts and you didn't notice any, right?
I did ask some spirit to try to find the gas mask ghost, but I never got any response, though I did look into a mirror after I used the bathroom, and I saw the gas mask on me. So,
wait, what?
Hold on. And I'm going to scuttle over to the mirror, and I would like to study every inch of it and like every inch of its reflection for any kind of paranormal, supernatural activity or essence coming off of it.
What role would you like to use for this?
I would like to use study.
Okay.
If that works.
Sure. I think attune would also be good, but study works.
Okay. How often can I use abilities? Because I don't want to just like crank them out if it seems like
your special
cheap
abilities?
Yeah.
I think those are just things you can do now. Like, I don't think it's limited exactly.
Okay, because I don't see where it is limited, so I was going to use Ghost Mind again to add another die to this.
Okay, look for it.
I don't want to be like exploiting shit and not knowing it. You know what I mean?
No, I think
it doesn't say so many times a day. You just have those abilities.
I got a 6 and a 6 and a 4.
That's so 2 6s is a critical success.
I would like to know if I can pull the image of the ghost like back or something like that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
You look into this mirror and you gaze deep into it. Callie and Chad, can I ask you guys to mute your computers for like 2 minutes? I'll give you a thumbs up or a wave when it's time to turn your sound back on. All right. You look into the mirror. You see this young woman in the gas mask looking back at you with her face superimposed over yours. And she lifts up a hand to touch the mirror.
Well, I totally reach out and touch it.
And then she vanishes. But the second she vanishes, you forget that you saw her. Poof, out of your mind. You do not remember that you saw her. But, okay. All right, guys, turn to Callie. You guys can turn your audio back on now. You guys see a mist. All of you see a mist appear over the mirror, like it fogs up. And then writing appears in the fog that says, "Why are you keeping me waiting?" Question mark.
Waiting for what? What are you waiting for, spirits? Tell us.
You think she's involved with this? With the bombing? With the sun spark engine? Can I Ashton, sorry.
Yes.
Could I do maybe some sort of insight test, a study or something like that, where I can try to rack my brain for anything to do with like weird clown devices or gas masks or anything like that? See if there's a connection.
Sure. What roll do you want to make for this?
Study?
All right. Just studying your memory.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Go ahead and make a roll.
Oh, God.
Roll high, don't suck.
I know. I've only got 2 dice. Let's go, dice.
This is not very risky, so I'd say controlled and normal effect.
Okay. 3.
You can't think of anything.
Those dice are not liking you today.
I know, and I've tried.
Oh, man.
4 different dice, but... Anyone else? Any bright ideas?
Well, we have a few contacts in the city. You probably can't go back to that cafe again.
Unfortunately not, which is too bad. Their Darjeeling is...
But we can maybe... I mean, you know, we've been doling goods out to the good folk of the city for a little while now. Maybe, how about this? What if we act like nothing ever happened and that we just go about our business as if we were never attacked, and people ask about my hands and say, "Oh, there was an experiment with a fertilizer, and it's fine. I'll be fine in a couple of days." And we just, make some conversation as we're going about our rounds and see if anybody in the area saw anything or heard anything, or maybe knows somebody who heard a thing.
What about that news girl? You said that she heard things.
Greta, she's got her eyes out.
We could see where this gas-masked creature is lurking most of the time, since it seems to be involved in some way.
Is it? I'm not sure that it is.
It's appearing around the time that we were almost killed.
Out of character, like timeline-wise, when first talked to the newspaper girl, how long ago was that? Like a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of hours?
Maybe a week. Something like that.
Okay. And all right. So in the terms of the game that we've been playing today,
yes,
several weeks have passed.
Well, let's say about a week has passed. We picked up basically with Ross getting home,
which was a couple of months after our first.
A couple of months after your first mission. Yeah, and that was a pretty quiet couple of months.
Okay.
Surprisingly quiet couple of months, given how much trouble you stirred up.
And we don't have any kind of backup generator or anything like that. I mean, we were operating here for a while before we got the Sunspark engine.
I would accept that you would have a backup generator. Do you want to activate it and get the power going again?
Yes.
Okay.
And bury the bodies.
I'm actually going to use those. I have some very specific plant experiments, and it's going to require, human flesh.
What? That sounds rather...
I'm just returning them to the earth, my dear.
All right.
Cycle of life.
Couple of the larger bones. I like to grind them up for dust.
Oh, yeah. So, so here's how this is going to work. So I have a couple of planter pots I've just prepared for just such an occasion. We're going to get them in there. I have some bacteria and some worms and some other things that I've been working on. They're going to go in. They will divest the corpse of all of its flesh. And in a couple of weeks or so, we should have some pristine bones for you.
So you guys
get a thought.
Yes.
Perhaps I can try to find some of my underground contacts who may be able to fill me in on some information. If I have other spiritualist contacts, I imagine occultists, how wizards and magical folk tend to form little cliques.
Yes. You have some contacts you could reach out to. For sure.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Can I look at the wreckage of the bomb and see if there's anything that I can trace to a certain maker in town?
Ooh, very interesting. Yeah, make a study test. So we're moving into pseudo downtime here. You guys clean up. It takes some work to clean up. You take care of the bodies, you clean up the blood, you repair damage, and get your backup generators going. It's going to take probably a day to get through all of this. One thing becomes clear as you're cleaning up that you didn't necessarily notice right away. You find 3 bodies, but you had 4 people on duty that night. And the one who's missing is Snouter.
Well, so presumably as we start this process of cleaning up, we're noticing these things and I don't want to wait a day to start questioning the people in the community.
If you want to move faster on investigating, you can go for it. I'm just thinking it'll probably take about a day to clean up and get things moving again, get your operations started up.
Sure. But yeah, as quickly as we have any leads to go on, I want to go down and start talking to my regular contacts about if they saw anything, if they know anybody.
So Weed, you're going off to talk to your contacts. Ross, you're going off to talk to your contacts. Callie, what you wanted to do is a little faster, so go ahead and roll to examine the bomb.
Okay. Oof. How much stress do we get?
Just for making a roll? You don't get a stress for making a roll.
No, I know, to spend for another dice. I'm just not trusting my dice.
You can take up to 1, 2, 3.
Not worth it for this. Not worth it for this.
Looks like 9 stress is your limit. If you take
I already
a 10
spent 2.
stress, you take a level of trauma which is permanent, and you go home.
Well, it's not life and death right now, so I'm just going to roll these. I'm going to give them luck.
Okay.
Peace. All right. I'm rolling a study check to see if I know anything about the make of this thing. Oh, 5.
Yeah. Let's see. Sometimes I'm really, just as a comment on the system, sometimes I'm noticing it's hard to apply some sort of consequence or complication to some roles.
Well, maybe the complication is that it's not direct evidence. I don't know. It's like once removed.
Yeah, sometimes it works really well to give you success but add a complication, but other times it's not obvious to me what the complication would be other than like a mitigated effect. But I kind of feel like that's not what it's supposed to be. But let's go with that. We'll call it a mitigated effect. It's not complete success. But what you get is you are able to identify some of the materials made in the construction of this bomb, and it is homemade. It is not something that is made by a professional, it is not military grade. It's not professionally constructed. This bomb is made with supplies that you can buy at a corner store.
What about the toy?
It appears to be a regular children's toy.
And you could find it anywhere.
Modified slightly to add creepy laughter.
Right. But it's not like a specialty toy or anything.
Not really.
Okay. No?
Brandon, let's do you next since, I don't know, you said it first. Do you want to go talk to some of your occult contacts? Your audio is not coming in.
Is it not? What?
Now it is.
Is it coming in now?
Yeah.
Weird. There's like a delay when I mute my microphone in Zoom to when it kicks back on. It's odd.
Just bring it in. Bring it in.
How funny.
Yeah. This suddenly turned into ASMR. ASMR Dungeons and Dragons, when everything is just whispered gently into the microphone. It would work for Blades in the Dark. I would like to find my contact, Walter Brightskull. He is known to speak with the dead more often than other human beings.
Okay. Let's see. Roll a fortune roll to see if he is in. Give me a D6.
Okay. 1d6. I'm going to use the creepy green one this time. 4.
He's available but distracted. He only has a moment. Where does he live? What's his place?
Probably.
For the sake of speed, let's sort of streamline this. Just make a consort roll to see what you can find out from him.
Sure. I have no points in consort.
All right, never mind. We'll role play through it. That's fine. Where does he live?
He lives in a dark, shadowy part of town, kind of on the outskirts of the red light district. But even the folks that hang out in the red light district don't feel comfortable going to this place. And it's down a dark alley that has like one lantern that flickers all the time. Even though it's a new candle, the thing still flickers just to add creepy factor. And he's down like a little staircase into like a little underground shop.
All right. His hunchbacked apprentice answers the door. He's only got one good eye. The other is milky white. He says, yes?
Yes. Over here.
It's you.
Over here. It is. Yes. Is Walter in?
The master is in, but he's busy.
I know he's busy, Belgor. He's always busy. I just have a quick question to ask him.
Well, all right, come in. If he's angry, it's on your head.
Thank you. And I reach into my one of my pouches and I pull out like a handful of dead cockroaches and I put them in his hand. And I creep up to like the counter or the curtain.
Belgor says, protein. You shouldn't have. And he starts munching on them. He takes you in to Walter Brightskull's study. Walter is an absurdly tall man. It's ridiculous. And he has a flair for the dramatic. He's wearing one of those robes with the flared collar.
The huge collar. Yes.
Totally unnecessary. He sees you come in. He says, Ross, I was wondering if you would turn up at my door.
I always seem to, at some point. Look, I'm here again.
Yes, I wasn't sure if I'd see you again this time.
Oh, yes, the Leviathan blood trips are very harrowing, especially the ones where you don't remember the last, like, half of it. Weird. Anyway, ghosts, gas masks. Do you know anything? Have you seen anything with your eyes?
The tattoos all over his bald pate start throbbing with light. And he says, gas masks, yes. Yes, I have seen things.
We all see things, Walter. That's why I'm here. I'm wondering if you have. What is it? Do you know?
He gives you a very thoughtful, studying look, and he says, you don't know, do you? Fascinating. Well, I could tell you, but it wouldn't be my place. Follow the gas masks, Ross. Follow them, and you will find what you seek. Come to me when you're done, if you're still here.
That's what I like about you, Walter. And I kind of elbow him. The charm. And I'll reach into a pouch and I'll pull out a raven skull. Usual payment. And I'll plop it on the counter and I'll whip my coat and I'll turn around and I'll skulk back outside.
All right. Take a point of stress.
Good Lord.
What is happening to him?
Well, first of all, I'm the raving for a reason. I am bonkers. But is there any way, for us and the audience, is there a way to heal stress? Because I'm almost halfway to trauma.
I believe it's rest. When you get some rest, you can heal some stress. I think all your stress comes back when you get rest.
Would I have healed those 2 points of stress
away
after we found the body?
God, if I took a nap and all my stress came back, Jesus Christ, why would I ever sleep?
That depends. I was under the impression you guys wanted to head out and keep investigating right away, but if you want to rest first, you can do that.
I'm fine with going out right away.
I think that was the current consensus, but whenever you get a chance to get a good rest, you can recover from this stress.
Okay, cool.
Meanwhile, Chad, you are heading out investigating.
Yes, I am.
You're looking for.
Let's see. I'm gonna go talk to Eckerd the corpse thief.
Okay.
Yes. And maybe Veldrin the Psychonaut.
All right. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with Eckerd. He's always good for a laugh.
All right. And where is Eckerd?
Well, he's usually doing his job at the small traders district. He works for a man. They sell beads.
Okay.
And small trinkets.
You arrive. He is in. He says, Weed. I was just thinking of you. Do you need any corpses by any chance?
Not today, thanks, Eckerd. But on a tangential subject, do you know anybody who's been making them recently?
He says, making them how?
You know, taking live people and turning them into dead people.
Well, the gangs are always fighting. They're always out and about.
Yeah, I mean, a bit more above that kind of pay grade.
Well, roll a fortune roll for me, Chad.
Okay. 6 and a 4.
6. Excellent. He says, funny you should mention, I've been listening to some of the chatter on the streets recently, and there's one of the gangs, one of the serious ones, has become active again. They've been, dormant, not doing much for a while, but word on the street is they're doing jobs again. Do you know the Carnies?
I mean, I've heard of them. Small hands smell of cabbage.
He gives you an odd look. I didn't know that about them.
Well, you learn things. And anyway, the Carnies.
They've been pretty quiet for a while. Some people thought they were gone, but word on the street is they're out and about again, getting busy, doing something big.
Are they working for anybody, or did they just come up out of the shadows?
I don't know about that.
Carnies. Small hands, smell of cabbage. Okay. What about anybody else who's been trying to move things hither and thither? You're a man who deals in the, shall we say, clandestine purveyance of certain goods.
Yes, well, there's always the usual, stuffing drugs into the abdominal cavities of cadavers and the like. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, but you haven't heard of anybody trying to move, say, big equipment around?
Oh, no, nothing that's crossed my path anyway.
Okay, but Carnies. All right. Well,
they haven't been seen in a while, but suddenly they're doing something or did something. Not sure.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Eckerd. And, slip him a little baggie of something.
Try to stay alive.
I always do.
And if you fail, make sure your corpse ends up on my table. I could use it.
I'll see you then.
He gives sort of an unpleasant little chuckle as you leave.
Carnies, yes. All right. Well, let's go talk to the druggies.
All right. Let me know if and when you do get rest. So this is all still the same
I'm probably resting while they're out doing stuff since I didn't find anything from the device.
So this is the same day, right?
I mean, it was night and day is a construct for sure, but it was definitely getting not late, but evening when you got home. So it's
okay.
I mean, at some point you'll want to go get some rest, but you can still, a lot of the underworld where your contacts are active at all hours anyway. So it's not really an issue.
I would say I want to do this one last thing and then go get some shut-eye.
Okay. So who are you visiting this time?
This time I'm going to go talk to Veldrin the Psychonaut.
All right.
Do we get one good contact and one bad contact? That's what I thought.
Oh, you do. Sorry. One of your contacts should be your enemy. Isn't Veldrin your enemy?
No, Stasia, the apothecary, is my enemy. I have 3 and 3. Is that too many?
I think you're supposed to take 1 and 1.
Okay. Well, then Veldrin is my... Veldrin doesn't exist. Scratch that.
We'll skip
Stasia,
Veldrin.
the apothecary, is my enemy because fuck that guy. And I'm going to go home and try and get some sleep.
All right. You guys all get a good night's rest. It is undisturbed. You may recover from any stress you have taken. It is going to take longer than that for you to heal the injury on your hands, however. But it's getting started healing. I'd like you to start a progress clock. Progress clocks are a circle that you divide into a number of segments, and you fill up the segments one at a time. Make a 6-segment clock, and you can tick the first one, and this is healing your hands. So once 6 ticks have been filled in towards healing your hands will be healed. The only thing unusual about the next morning is that the newsy girl does not show up with the newspaper.
I don't like that at all.
I have a contact in the house of the Evangelina family. I could potentially talk to her. Of course, I have to get her away from the household. So maybe when she's running errands, I could keep an eye on the estate and take her aside. See if they organize the hit somehow.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Do you want to do that now?
I guess so. There was no objections.
You head out.
Her name is Jenna. She's a servant.
What role would you like to make to try to find her?
I don't know. There's hunt, I guess. Prowl. Survey.
I think hunt or survey would work.
All right, I've got
Prowl
hunt.
is more like being sneaky.
Got it. So I have hunt.
Okay.
Only got 1 dice for this.
Hunter down.
So I'm rolling the 1 dice.
You can always push
the
yourself,
information out of her before.
or
Do I want to push myself?
or seek a devil's bargain.
Ooh.
Is there any way to assist? Like if I am also skilled in hunting, is that what you're going with?
You could come out and help her. Like if you can describe a way that you would assist, then you can pay 1 stress to give her a bonus die instead of her paying 2.
Ooh. Okay. And are you using hunt or survey?
Hunt.
Okay. How would I?
Well, if you know what
Damn.
she looks like, then you can help track her down.
Yeah, you could just be another pair of eyes
Yeah, just another pair.
scouting around.
There we go. I was trying to think of like some creepy way to do it, but yeah, I could just use my eyeball. I don't have to be a nightmare all the time.
Doesn't have to
Use
be
the
creepy the
spirit
entire
eye.
time, Brandon. Yeah, you can just do normal things sometimes.
Sometimes.
You can just look around.
Which can be just in that it is you.
I will creepily help her look around.
All right.
And I'll take a stress.
Hey, little girl, have you seen anyone who looks like this?
So you should have all recovered from your stress. So you're taking your first one for this day.
Son of a gun.
Oh my God, Callie.
What?
What did you get?
No.
It's a 2.
You can't.
All right, there's more devil's bargains in my future, is what I'm saying.
Yes, more devil's bargains. Who else has a game plan? While you're thinking about that, I'm actually going to pop back to the restroom. I guzzle water like a fish when I'm DMing.
Why don't we take?
Do we want to take a quick 5?
Yeah, let's take a quick 5.
I'm sorry my dice suck.
We are back, folks. Welcome back. We're ready to continue. So I would say take a moment, think over the leads you have, and figure out what your next steps are.
Hey, I had a question.
Yes.
On my character sheet, there is a line in a box that says strange friends. And I'm wondering what that means. Are those my contacts?
So we should have done this as part of character creation, but we were being a little quick. You should pick one of those people to be a friend and one of those people to be a rival or enemy.
Okay.
So, for instance, my enemy is Celia, an information broker.
Gotcha. So my enemy will be Nyrix, a possessor ghost.
Oh, shit.
Because while I am fond of spirits, I am not fond of when they take control of the living. That is not their place.
Ooh, I like that you have scruples.
My ally is Flint, who is a spirit trafficker.
What does that mean?
Amazing.
Your character makes me feel ooky. I don't know.
It's funny. I was just asking Chad if I was like going too far with the creepy facts.
No, go far. She hired you because she cannot contact spirits. Does she regret it? Yes.
Question your decisions every day, but like it's working for now, so we're gonna keep carrying on.
Oh man.
So I guess I would like to see if I can contact Flint through some methods and see if they know anything about the ferrying or the movement of these gas mask ghosts.
I'm actually going to say, in this case, no, because you've already reached out to a contact. I would like you to also write in on your sheet. What was his name? Something Bright Skull?
Walter. Yes.
Walter Brightskull. Write in Walter Brightskull as a contact. Flint is currently out of town.
Probably on a trafficking mission.
Callie, I believe you were in the middle of a quest.
I was looking for Jenna, and then I got a 2. So apparently, I just suck.
Yeah, you can't find her.
All right, she must not be on duty today. New plan. What of these carnies do we know about? Can we do a study roll on that?
Well, you don't have something to study. I mean, you can try to gather information, but how are you going about it?
Okay, if there's a new gang in town, I would like to go with my friends so they can back me up. Probably to a local pub where it's sort of like neutral territory for the gangs. And start asking around about carnies. I'm not going to wear my hoity-toity stuff. I'm probably going to wear my little, dress it down a little bit and go ask about.
Are you guys so you're all going? Are you guys coming along? Okay.
I think go south in neutral territory. You need people.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and have you make probably a consort roll to try to gather information.
This time I'm going to spend stress. I'm already stressed out that Jenna wasn't there. My first lead didn't work. I had to bury a bunch of bodies this morning, and I'm in a foul temper, and I would like some information, please.
I mean, it was really more of a gardening exercise.
For you. For me, it was slightly traumatizing.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Poor Bruto.
All things return to the earth.
I suppose so, but I didn't think that when I hired them, they would return to the earth so soon.
Well, no, but I mean, this is the kind of world we live in where things turn quite quickly.
That is fair.
Make the best use of the situation.
Well, I get through it with a strong amount of denial, so I don't like it when it's staring me in the face.
Fair. How aristocratic of you. Carry on.
Ah, yes. All right, I spend 2 points of stress, so I get an extra die, so that's 4 dice.
An extra die. All right, 4 dice it is.
And I'm going to consort.
Will it be enough?
With these hooligans. All right. All right, my highest is a 5. That ain't too shabby.
You are able to find out a little bit about the Carnies. They are a gang. I mean, they're definitely some sort of crew. They are generally considered to be a strange crew, meaning they are most likely to deal with stuff about the supernatural. And their motivations are somewhat unclear. They are widely considered to be kind of mad. They've also been very reclusive. They have not been active lately. Most people here don't know anything about them doing any recent actions, but you do find one person who heard a rumor that they were back in the game. They've been doing something, but he doesn't know what. But one thing you do find out, which is more or less, I mean, not common knowledge, but it's the same level of commonness of knowing where your hideout is, that your lair is at the Arboretum. You find out that their hideout is an abandoned carnival in the Dock District.
Checks out. And this sort of ties into the Jester Jack in the Box.
I could see that connection.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said I could see that connection.
Chad and Brandon, or Weed and Ross, what are you guys doing during this? You guys are
So we're going to this bar to get information, yes?
Yeah, you're sort of asking around. Are you like assisting and also asking around, or are you more just keeping your eyes open, or something else?
I'm going to be handing out samples.
All right.
My brand is the Verdant Man.
Nice. Let me ask all three of you to make either hunt or survey. Let's do a survey test. I think that's about as good as we're going to get to some...
I don't have any dice in that.
Well, then roll 2 dice and take the lowest.
6.
Ooh, excellent. The rest of you
3.
can ignore it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
What can I say but you're welcome? Yes.
You take a look. You go in, and as the vine starts asking around, you very quickly notice a shadowy figure in the corner that sees you and immediately goes to vacate the room. Just someone who, on seeing you, they might not start as a shadowy figure in the corner, but the very first thing they do is pull their hood up, turn away, and then start, like, as inconspicuously as they can, moving towards the shadows and then towards the exit.
I would like to signal the others and then move towards the exit to head him off.
All right. You managed to head him off. Well, let's get a roll for that. What action do you want to take to try to catch up to this person?
So I want to, as I'm walking around talking to people, like, hey, how you doing? How's your mama? Hey, have you tried this latest strain? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, does anybody know that guy? Could somebody get his attention? And I want to use sway to get some of my newly found friends to stop him before he exits.
All right, go for it.
3.
They do not respond. They're just like, nope, don't know that guy. They seem to show no interest in going to grab him. Okay. That's going to elevate or escalate your position from controlled to risky. He is now, you're at risk of losing him.
Okay. Then I would like to pull out a different vape pen, take a hit off of it, and get in front of the door. And as he approaches, I want to breathe into his face.
What action are you using for this?
I'm going to use Tinker.
Ooh, all right.
This is one of my venomous. Choose a drug or poison to which I have become immune. I can push myself to secrete it through your skin or saliva or exhale it as a vapor.
Cool. This is one of your special abilities?
Yeah.
Dude. All right.
So I'm going to, as he's making his way through the door, if I can get in front of him and breathe on him, there's a 6.
Beautiful.
And just stop.
You breathe on him and you immediately hear coughing and wheezing, and a voice comes through. Boss, I didn't want that stuff. I may not be able to smell it, but sure. And then he passes out. You look under
Snouter,
the hood.
Snouter.
It is Snouter.
Like, sorry, just a bit of HR going on here. Everybody go about your business. We'll handle this. Sorry, Kevin, who I assume is the barkeep's name. It's probably not.
By the way, Chad, just FYI on the rules, the push yourself part in bold on that ability means you need to do 2 stress. Take 2 stress to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Snouter is not completely comatose, but currently unresponsive.
That betraying son of a bitch.
And I, reached down to pick him up, but oh god, he's heavy.
I mean, he's kind of a small person, but still too heavy for you.
Yeah, so am I.
I will help.
Between the two of you, you can get him up. The people in the bar take very little interest. Apparently, lugging unconscious people around is not uncommon in this particular bar.
No.
And we'll move him back to the table that he recently vacated. Sit him down in a chair.
He starts coming around. Oh, boss, that's some potent stuff. You've been working on that strain, I see.
Yeah, it's getting good. I'm glad you noticed. Hey, so anything you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was just coming to see you, actually. Yeah, I was just on the way right now.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. We walked in and then you tried to run away from us. So,
I was actually going to the door to go to the Arboretum to see you. I didn't realize you were here. If I'd known, I would have just come right to you. I would have.
Snouter, I have something in this vial here that if I rub it on your skin will cause immediate inflammation and pain.
Well, I mean, there's no need for... What do you... I don't know. You don't need to do that. I'm all yours, man. You're my boss. I'll do whatever you say.
Snouter, I need you to start telling the truth. And the truth being who came in and wrecked our lab.
Oh, man, it was... I'm sorry. I would have stayed, but, like, I saw them kill Bruto, and it was...
I start putting on gloves.
No, I'm telling you the truth, I swear. It was a bunch of fucking clowns, man. Matt, painted faces and everything, and laughing while they were killing people. But they knew their shit.
Did you let them in?
Did I let them? No. Bruto was on door duty.
Really? I'm going to start pouring some of the liquid out onto the glove and start rubbing my fingers together.
No, I'm telling you, I didn't let him in. I didn't stay and fight him. When I saw what they could do, I bolted. I know. I'm sorry.
Does he seem like he's telling the truth?
What do you want to roll to figure that out?
I don't know. I'm not completely familiar with this, so...
I want to study him.
You can roll study for that.
All right. Can I assist Chad?
Yeah.
Okay. Chad,
Same. I'm also skilled in study as well.
I'm going to roll these for you, so you don't know if you succeeded or not. How many dice?
Oh, okay.
I
have 2 in study.
Alrighty.
And if they're assisting, that gives me more. But
are you assisting, or do you want to make your own rolls?
That's up to them.
Guys?
I'm assisting.
Okay. So spend 1 stress to assist.
Yep.
I'll make my own roll.
How many dice do you have, Brandon?
I have 2.
Okay.
Wait. Chad, what do you have in study?
2.
Okay, so he's the same as me, so I'll assist.
Okay. Brandon, you're not sure. You're more concerned with the spirit world, but Chad and Callie, you guys, I kind of feel like he is telling the truth.
Okay.
There's a, like, at this point, his back's against the wall. He's not you know him. He's not a courageous person. If anyone was going to cut in the run, it tracks that it would be him. And it also does not track that he would not spill everything when you're threatening to put painful substances on his skin.
All right.
He's a coward.
And I continue rubbing the substance between my gloves, and then just touch his face.
He's like, no, man, no, please. Don't. Ah! It starts singeing his skin.
No. This is not actually anything poisonous. I was bluffing the entire time. This is just a face cream that helps with rosacea.
He actually screams anyway. You touch his face and he starts screaming. And after a second, it takes him a surprisingly long time to figure out he's not burning.
It's just skin cream. It's,
He's breathing heavily and sweating as he's like, very, very soothing, boss.
Yeah. It has a nice smell to it, doesn't it?
Minty.
Minty fresh. I'm sorry I ran. I know I should have stayed. But they were killing people, man. It was bloody. They were messy.
All right. We get it. But clowns, you say?
Fucking clowns. There was a mime. There was a big man with a beard, and I think he had boobies too. There was a
bearded lady.
There was a dwarf with a little hat. He seemed, I don't know, maybe he was running the show. I couldn't tell. They were.
Did you hear them say anything like where they're based or anything like that?
Well, we know where they're based.
Fucking laughed. Those laughs still sends shivers up my spine.
Okay.
They just broke right in. There was nothing we could do. It was over before it began. They knew their business.
Well, we did pay you to secure the place, which you obviously failed to do. So I think we're going to have to terminate your contract. But fortunately for you, not your life.
He looks visibly relieved. Oh, thank you, boss. Thank you. I mean, I guess not boss anymore.
What do you guys say? We letting them go, or we keeping them on?
No, we'll let you go, but you owe us. Don't you understand that now, Snatter?
Oh yeah.
Big favor.
Yeah,
Big favor.
I owe you. I guess I owe you a big favor.
Perhaps this might be a bad idea. Perhaps he could just be an informant in the streets. Doesn't necessarily work under employ, but we call upon him as needed.
Sure.
And he gets to live.
And there's a little something in it for me, right?
No.
Your
little
life.
extras here and there.
Nope.
Your life.
He looks a little resentful, but he's like, okay, fine, sure. I see where things stand. I see.
I already paid you, Snouter, and you didn't do your job, so consider that a down payment on future services.
You can't get paid if you're dead, lady.
Well, you could have reported back instead of running away. Anyway, get out of my sight. You disgust me.
He cannot get out of there fast enough. He jets.
I'm going to make it very hard for him to leave, like tripping him up, like the chairs are in the way. We have him in the back of the booth and he has to, excuse me, can I get up, please? Excuse me. Can I
compel like a minor irritating spirit to chase him out the door? Like
make a compel
like little
roll.
spooky whispers.
Or what would that be? A tune?
A tune. 3d6. Oh, that's a 2 and a 3 and a 1.
All right.
So 3.
You cannot find any spirits nearby to send after him.
The only spirits here are behind the bar.
throw whiskey at him and you miss?
So we know that these people are hanging out at the abandoned carnival, these carnies, which makes sense given the name. A little on the nose, but we're called the Green Thumb, so there's that.
Well,
we pay them a visit.
It seems like we need to get some people together and go have a chat with these carnies.
We're not going to just hand over the device. Maybe we should try to sneak in.
I mean, I'm all about, well, I'm not very sneaky, but I can definitely knock out some guards. In fact, I've been working on this projectile device with some of the resins from this acacia tree that numbs all the senses. Just he starts like spouting off.
So at this point, it is time to shift from downtime to beginning your score. You have a goal. You know you have figured out the location you're going to. You guys spend an appropriate amount of time making preparations, but we are going to skip that part and jump straight into the action. Does anybody need another short break before we begin?
I'm good for now.
Okay.
I'm all right.
All right.
There's a couple of decisions you need to make. One is, how much of a load are you bringing? Are you going heavily loaded, taking a normal load, or a light load?
Well, this is an abandoned carnival, so I don't really care completely who sees me. So I'll probably take a heavy load.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go heavy as well.
Brandon?
I was thinking normal, but why not? I'll go heavy as well.
Now,
right.
do we have a rest between now and then?
You can take a rest between now and then, so you can recover your stress and go into this fresh. The only other thing I need from you is what your point of entry is.
We would have to scope ahead at the carnival, right? So...
That it's on a pier,
back
right?
door side entrance.
Here?
It's on the docks. You're not sure. I guess you can do enough scouting that'll give you a little description of the lay of the land. It is in a part of the docks that is largely ruined and abandoned. The carnival has been abandoned, you understand, for over 100 years.
Would there be any access? Like, is there a beach underneath, or is it fully like over water?
That's an interesting question.
What I'm wondering is
Just,
if part of it has collapsed down to the ground.
Yeah.
If there's a way we could like walk down to the shoreline, along the shoreline, and kind of come up from beneath it.
Yeah, that could be potential. The bulk of the carnival is on land. It has a fence going all the way around it. It is fenced off at this point. With signs saying no access, but even those are old and decrepit at this point. There in the carnival, there is a pier that extends out over the water, but the main entrance is not on the pier, and the bulk of the carnival is not on the pier.
Okay.
So there's
what do y'all think?
Points of access could be what once was the main entrance, coming up from the waterline or from the shoreline, trying to sneak in that way, or like coming around the back and just hopping the fence.
Or coming around the back and using a corrosive acid that I've been breeding in one of my plants that feeds on metals, specifically soft metals like aluminum and tin, which is generally what they make fences out of.
Cool.
We can just burn a hole in.
That would be an acceptable point of entry.
Sure. I mean, I was going to suggest taking a boat by water and sneaking in, but we could do that.
Either way. I mean, they're going to see us coming from the water.
Not if we wait for a misty night.
Well, it's always dark here.
Yeah. Well, I said misty, not dark.
Yeah, fair. I'm fine with the boat idea.
Of a good fog.
What?
A good fog.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Fog it is.
Fog it is.
Fog it.
Roll a fortune roll. Let's see if you can get a foggy, if it happens to be foggy the next night.
2 5s.
All right. Yeah, success with a complication. It is foggy. However, there's some sort of event happening on the beach not far away. You see people gathered, parties, some sort of party going on, noise in the background. There are people who could end up being collateral damage or witnesses if you do something that would draw their attention.
How many people are there?
Probably 40 or 50.
Cool. You first, but I have an idea. Go ahead.
I could try to conjure some drowned spirits to chase them away.
Or what if we use their noise as a distraction?
In what way?
Well, if they're having a good time and throwing a good party, the whoever is inside the carnival will not notice our approach because they're focused on, well, I don't know, naked people having the most fun that you can have when you're naked.
How about spiking their beverages?
Well, I mean, that would involve getting close up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a more ranged attack. Choo choo.
So we just leave them be and just try to sneak in as is.
Well, I mean, we should facilitate their enjoyment.
How would a gun help with that?
My dear lady, this doesn't fire bullets. This fires fun.
Let's see.
But wouldn't that put you at the center of all of that and a lot of attention on you?
No, because it fires it a long way away.
Do it, Weed. Do it.
I am confused but intrigued.
All right. So I'm going to load a special canister into my launcher.
All right.
That is basically gaseous molly when it explodes.
Oh my goodness. All right. What role are you using for this?
So this would be an unusual weapon.
Oh, yes.
And I would like to use Tinker for this.
Okay. Go ahead and check the box for unusual weapon. Give me a Tinker
Done.
roll.
2 6s and a 5.
Okay. Wow. Critical success. You tell me, Chad, what happens?
All right. So we're in this boat. Is the boat a motorboat or are we rowing?
It's up to you.
All right. So we're rowing along quietly because we're trying to remain clandestine. Alona's like, oh my God, I did not sign up for manual labor. And Ross is over there like, yes, yes. And I'm like, ching, ching, punk, punk. And I lob it towards where the party is happening on the beach. I'm like, yep, there it is. And it lands perfectly in the fire. And the fire erupts in these blue and purple and green lights. And everybody's like,
whoa.
Ooh. And then this gas erupts from it. And it like sort of creates this fairy haze of lights and everything. And then everybody's startled for a moment. But then like they calm down, they see nothing's happening. Then everybody just starts like laughing and hugging each other, and then they get more into the party and the music gets louder and it gets weirder, and people are just like throwing off clothes and running around and doing weird things. I'm like, so, anytime you guys want to have a party back at the place, just let me know. Row. So they're just making a cacophony over on the beach.
All right. Do you guys row?
Yep.
Okay. You bring the boat in under the cover of this noise. You bring the boat in under the pier. You can hear dings and bells and whistles coming from above the pier as some of the mechanisms of the carnival seem to still be active. You find a good spot to pull the boat up. Brandon, take a point of stress. Let's make the engagement roll. We probably should have done that before we started actually doing stuff, but let's do it now. So the engagement roll, you are going to start with 1 die for sheer luck. I don't think this plan to approach is either especially bold or especially overly complex, so nothing there. I don't think you have aid from friends or interference from enemies. You are coming in by boat from an unexpected direction, so I'll give you +1 die for that. So you have 2 dice for your engagement roll.
Okay. How do we do this? We just all roll?
Oh, just one person. Nominate who's going to do the roll.
Who's rolling?
Kelly,
okay, I'll roll.
You're due. You're fucking due.
I am.
It's time.
Let's do it. 4.
All right. Not too bad. That puts you in a risky position to start with. So you pull up the boat at the base of the pier. You hear bells and whistles from these, carnival toy machines. You also hear voices and footsteps walking along the planks of the pier above you. You are not in a desperate position, but you are in a risky position. You are not far from danger. What would you guys like to do?
Before we get too close, I'd like to load another round.
In your unusual weapon?
Yep.
All right.
Just fire it at the dock.
Okay.
We don't want them all drugged out of their minds and villainous.
No, but they're going to be having a good time.
While they kill us?
No, they might want to try and have sex with us, but that's a different thing.
Oh, God.
Oh, that will be the
I feel
first
like we
time
should
in
have
a
talked
long...
that through before you...
All right. Well, I have some other drugs. I have a sleepy drug.
That might be better.
Okay. I'll do the sleepy drug.
All right. What
4.
What kind of roll is this?
Again, this is the unusual weapon, and with alchemical bandolier. So I'm going to be checking off things that I have in my bandolier.
Got it.
So the first one was the fun drug. This one was the sleepy drug. And that was a 4 to use the unusual weapon.
Okay. You launch it up there. So this is, I'd say, risky, but potentially great effect. So it is successful with a consequence. The success is they fall, like you hear bodies dropping to the floor, snores starting. Whoever was just above you on this dock passes out. But the complication is that you hear some shouts from further away, deeper in the carnival.
Sure. Let's climb up fast. I hike my skirt up and I tuck it into my belt. And I get ready to climb these poles with tools that I brought for climbing poles.
All right. Mark that you have those tools, and I'd say you're able to climb up. I'm not going to insist on a roll for that. You brought the tools for this. You can get up.
All right.
How are the rest of you getting up?
You leave like a rope behind or something. Or did you just
I could have brought a rope and I can
Leave
drop it down
for them? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick a grappling hook into my unusual weapon and try and hook it onto the top and then zzz my way up the top.
Is that a tinker roll?
Yes, it is. That's a 6.
Beautiful. It works like a charm. You land the grappling hook, pull the trigger, zip right up to onto the dock. How about you, Brandon?
I'm going to go to the base of the rope that Ilona left behind, and I'm going to grip it, or I'm going to bite my thumb and then run a line of blood down it and grip it, and I'm going to try to compel a ghost to just pull me up along with the rope.
Ooh, interesting. All right.
Couldn't guide us to pull you up, but sure, we'll do it the dramatic way.
No need for you. I have my friends.
Make your roll.
I rolled a 6, a 4, and a 2.
It works. Some sort of being in the spirit world just reaches down and you find yourself floating up to land on the dock.
So I just hold the rope still, so it just kind of goes slack as I lift up.
You don't even need the rope. Do you want to bring the rope? You don't need it.
Oh, totally. I'm still holding on to the rope. I'm just like, yeah.
All right. Spend a point of stress for me. I mean, take a point of stress.
Okay.
You get up to the dock, no problem.
Wonderful. What's the commotion that's going on down the way? Can we see anybody coming towards where the bodies are?
You see several people, there's about 4, conked out on the dock here. Mostly pretty, all of them definitely eccentric, colorful individuals, faces painted. I mean, yeah, they look like carnies and clowns. Some of them are wearing masks, other of them just have painted faces, but these ones are asleep. You see a couple others not far away that are both holding some serious hardware, like fully automatic guns, and they're prowling your direction. They do not appear to have noticed you yet, but if you don't take action quickly, you are going to be in a desperate position.
Cool. I'm going to shoot another grenade, sleep grenade at them.
All right. Make your roll.
5.
All right. You launch your sleep grenade. This, again, has potential to be a pretty great effect. It does knock them. You know what? This time, it is going to be a reduced effect. Something goes a little wonky with the sleep grenade, and instead of falling asleep, they start coughing and hacking. So they are definitely distracted, but not incapacitated.
Okay, and it is still a misty night, like fog, heavy fog.
So visibility's not great past about 30 to 40 feet, which gives, now you're on the dock, so you're near the games of the carnival, and it gives all of them this very eerie appearance in the misty darkness.
And I'm just gonna let's go. And if these guys are over here, I'm like, over here. If they're over here, let's go that way.
So are you trying to go out along the pier, or are you trying to get into the main area of the carnival?
Into the main area of the carnival.
Okay, but skirting around these guys who are hacking and coughing. All right. I think that would be a prowl test if you're trying to do it without being alerted, without alerting anyone. So this is going to be a group test. The way a group test works is you nominate a person to lead it, and you all roll. For every person who fails, the leader of the group takes 1 stress. But as long as anyone succeeds, you succeed as a group. But for everyone who fails, the leader takes a stress.
All right. So who's going to be leading this charge? Who has the most prowl? I only have 1. One. Okay, we're all 1. So.
Right. Well, since I seem to be the one who's firing things, I'll take this one.
All right.
Go.
Okay, we're rolling.
2.
Six. Wait, Brandon, you got a 6? All right. The highest result carries it, but that was 2 2s. All right, Chad, if you're leading it, you take 2 stress.
Okay.
So you're sneaking along, and Ross is just like a ghost, just soundless as he sneaks along. And
I'd like to pull little bits of the spirit world up underneath our feet as we step. So
ooh, very cool. But Weed, at one point you are noticing that there's a piece of wood on this dock that's going to creak if you step on it, and you almost put your foot on it and catch yourself at the last minute, but you're like breathing. You take a point of stress for that, which is one of the ones that you already, you take 2, one for you and one for Callie. And then after you catch yourself, you see the Vine come up, and she's about to step on the same board. And again, your heart leaps in your chest, and you manage to stop her and guide her over it. But that's the second point of stress you take for leading this. With that, you seem to skirt around the couple of guys with guns and sneak into the main. Yes? No?
Sorry. So the guys, the second group of guys, they're just coughing. They're not unconscious.
Yes.
So we can't just go up and take their guns. Got it. Carry on.
But you sneak around them without drawing their attention. And you get into the main area of the carnival. Here you see a kind of wide open space that seems to be for crowds to gather. You see off to your left is the entrance. Off to your right, it goes deeper into the carnival. There's some rides back there. You see a Ferris wheel, a couple other things. The most brightly illuminated things right in this area are right in the middle. There is a man sitting at a little table with cards and a little bowl in front of him. And he's got a bowler hat on. He's a heavy set man. He's not looking at you. He's totally motionless, possibly a mannequin or something, but pointed towards the entryway. At the entryway, there's a ticket selling booth that also has a man behind the counter with a big grin plastered on his face and a white makeup all over and another little cap. Again, motionless, just... And yeah, those are the two probably most brightly illuminated things. Around the edges, there's games and food stands, but those are mostly dark and broken.
Well, we're in part here because we're looking for the Sunspark engine, so maybe going toward things that are more brightly illuminated. Like, why would they steal our Sunspark engine to power their carnival, likely, right?
Right. So we need to get deep underground.
Yeah.
We need to find the servants' entrance.
I don't know, maybe we need to see where they're powering everything.
All right. Well, do you want to approach either of these two guys, or are we skirting?
Are they alive or are they mannequins? Either way, it's brightly illuminated. We'd be making ourselves sitting ducks if we went toward them.
Well, what if we skirted off to the right, away from the entrance, towards, I would assume there are like booths and things like that, and just chuck a rock. Or a ghosty boy.
I was about to say something, but you seem to be enjoying caving things places, so I just let you go.
No.
I think this is the time for you to step up. What you got?
From the shadows, I'm going to kind of hold my hands in a triangle, and you're going to see this like weird green eye appear, and I'm going to look at the one that's closest to us, And with Ghost Mind, I'm going to study it to see if I get a sense of undeath or supernatural nature, if this person is possessed, if it's... I've been looking at the document. There's like different types of undead. So if there's like a husk, there's a hull, which is like an automaton that's powered by a spirit. Like, I'm just trying to get a sense of if this thing has any supernatural stuff about it.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Okay. One disappeared. There's a 5, a 2, and a 2.
Okay. You do look into the spirit realm, but you do not see what you expect. You open your eyes to the other world, and you see standing before you the young woman in the gas mask.
In the booth where the being is?
No, just standing between you and them. And she starts walking towards you slowly.
Gas mask lady. Gas mask lady.
There is something incredibly familiar about her. It's actually driving you nuts that you can't place her. You should know her. You should. You're sure of it. You guys do see her.
Whoa. Okay. Is she doing anything? Is she gesturing us anywhere?
No, she's just walking toward you.
Well, last time she didn't hurt me, so I'm just going to let her do that.
She walks towards you, Ross, and you feel a sense of mounting horror, like danger. Like something is horribly, horribly wrong.
I am going to pull out a spirit bottle, of which I have 2, and I am going to compel, or actually try to command, the spirit into the bottle.
Oh,
if I can. I cannot find a description for what any of my items do, so I'm assuming this is what a spirit bottle can do.
That seems fair. Roll. Yeah, go ahead and roll for it.
Okay.
I guess that would be
and
command.
I'm going to burn some stress for this, so I'm giving myself 4.
Okay.
All right.
Get in the bottle! Oh boy. Okay, there's a 5. I got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5.
Oh, God.
Really glad I rolled that 4th die.
So with a 5, that is going to be, in this case, reduced effect. Actually, it was already, unfortunately for you, limited effect. So you actually suffer harm from this. You see her image fading and flickering and wavering. And you hear almost this supernatural screaming in your ears. And you feel a pain in your lungs, in your throat, and in your mouth and lips. A screaming, burning pain. As some part of you touches some part of this spirit. She flickers, and you sense her being pulled towards the spirit bottle until at the last second she breaks free and vanishes. You guys just see her disappear, but not before she leaves this pain in your throat and in your lungs. Go ahead and
Pop the cork back in.
Take a level 1 harm that is burned lungs.
Ooh.
What's the name of this carnival? Can we see it written anywhere?
You didn't come through the entrance, so I don't think you can see the name of the carnival from here.
Well, we can't hear you.
Where to?
What?
Where to? Another voice thing. It's not picking up.
Yeah, not if you're quiet.
Can I look at the lines that are going to any of the glowing lights and see if they're kind of like leading somewhere?
I would say the power sources are not going to be glowing. Like whatever.
No, I know. I'm looking from where the glowing is for out of the tents and things, the little cords.
Oh, I see. No, it's not obvious. But there's a few things in this area you could explore if you want, or you can go out onto the pier or deeper into the heart of the carnival where the rides are. This is sort of like the entry foyer.
Okay, well, what do we see? Like, we just see those two people, right? Well, we don't want to talk to them. They tried to kill us.
So we saw the one guy over the card shuffle table, and we saw the one guy at the gate.
Yes.
Other than that, besides creepy masked disappearing lady, we haven't seen anybody else.
Not here. There's booths around the edges, but they're food and games, and all of them are closed and dark and empty. As you're standing there, you do hear some noises from deeper inside the carnival. As you're standing here, the Ferris wheel actually starts up and starts rotating. And you hear a voice somewhere deeper in the carnival saying, step right up and test your strength here. Can you hit the highest rung of the bar? How strong are you?
Do the figures that we've noticed react to any of that?
Well, I don't like creepy clowns in boxes after our last encounter, so let's head back toward the middle of the carnival. Maybe near the Ferris wheel.
You mean forward?
Well, forward, yes.
As you start moving, the man in the middle, suddenly, like sitting at the table with the cards, he suddenly turns his head, but it's this weird jerky movement. And his mouth opens and you hear, "Fortune telling, get your fortune told here."
Does it seem to see us?
His head is like cocked in your direction, but not looking at you.
Well, I don't think we would put ourselves in the open like that.
Yeah, let's skirt around.
Yeah, go around it.
All right, as you leave, you just hear his head cocks back the other direction. You hear again, "Fortune telling here. Do you have good luck in your future? Or is death stalking you and your loved ones?"
Jesus.
Bit macabre
I can see why
for
this
our family establishment.
As you go in, it starts to get more illuminated. You see more bright lights, more of the games and activities are illuminated. Are you wanting to interact with any of them? You see the Hall of Mirrors, you see the game where you can like hit the thing and see how far the lights go up.
I don't think so. We don't want to run into people.
All right. That one does have a person standing next to it, but he doesn't seem to react to your presence. He just keeps calling out the same lines. Test your strength right here, ladies and gentlemen. Step up, see if you can compete with the best of the best, the strongest of the strong.
Wait, he sees us and doesn't really react?
Well, it's not clear if he sees you. You have to walk right in front of him. He seems to be talking to you, but he's not actually looking right at you.
Okay. I want to see if this is an actual person.
All right. Do you want to go up to him?
Yeah. As close as I can get without them being able to reach me.
When you step up close, he has another of those jerky movements and turns to look right at you. And he says, "Are you ready to test your strength to do the best that you can do?"
Unfortunately, I'm not very strong.
You never know what might come. Give it your best shot. And
Does he seem to be alive?
Jerks his hand out and holds out to you this hammer. You cannot tell.
That's unfortunate. I'm going to grab the hammer.
I didn't get any kind of ghosty supernatural vibe off of them, right?
No.
Okay.
As she grabs the hammer, I want to go back behind the figure and see if I can see if there are any mechanical bits that are controlling and compelling him.
Sure, yeah, you circle around behind. You do not see any mechanical bits connecting to him.
Why is he acting so strange? Huh.
When you take the hammer, he turns expectantly towards the game. Do you swing the hammer?
Sure, just so I don't appear to be out of place, because if I refuse him, I'm like a little afraid of what happens.
But you're not giving it your best effort?
No, I'm going to give it my best effort. Why not?
All right. Go and make I guess that probably wreck would be the closest.
I don't have wreck, so what is that? 2 and then the lowest?
2 dice, take your lowest.
All right. One.
The figure just shakes its head. Pathetic. And as you see, like 3 little dots illuminate. Next up, who's in line to try your strength against the best of the best?
All right. I'll give it a shot.
He turns expectantly to you again with these like jerky robotic motions.
5.
All right. You do pretty well. You get it up there. Not all the way to the top, but not bad. And he calls out in that same voice, "Not bad, not bad. We have someone with some muscle here. You could do well with a little more training."
And I'm going to push him.
When you poke him, your finger pokes into clothing and soft flesh.
I'm going to play with his face.
When you reach out to his face, he takes a step back. "Here now then, that's not part of the games. Are you a sportsman or not?"
Are you a real person or not?
There's a moment of silence and then just... "Test your strength here, ladies and gentlemen. Pick up the hammer and see if you can compete with the best of the best."
This place is giving me the willies. Let's get out of here. Keep looking.
So you don't think I should hit him with the hammer?
You don't need to anger the people here right now.
All right, fine. Here's your hammer.
"No prizes for you today. Try your luck another time."
I got it all the way. All right, fine.
Do you guys keep moving?
We keep moving.
As you're going along, you hear violin music from further up.
Okay.
It's sort of a haunting melody that contrasts with the blare of the various games and engines around you.
I guess we go toward the violin music.
Let's go that way, yeah.
Okay. As you draw closer, you see two more of these figures in sort of like unnatural postures. Two women playing violins. And everything about their motions except the violin music are these jerky robotic motions. But the arm controlling the bow actually it has a more graceful aspect to it. And behind them, you see the Sunspark engine connected to a bunch of wires and cables just going out in all directions to different parts of the carnival.
Is it like on a platform out in the open? What is it?
It's just sitting there on the ground. Sort of has been made to be this nerve center for the carnival.
Ashton?
Yes.
Would you have allowed me to have been placing small explosive devices along the path that we have taken?
Sure.
With my demolition tools?
Given that this at this point would technically be a flashback, spend a stress for that.
Okay. Whew. We are pushing crazy.
Boy, how you doing?
A normal day for you.
Yeah. I have five stress.
And
okay.
The only people near this Sunspark engine are the creepy women playing violin.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I would like to load a smoke bomb into my grenade launcher.
Okay. As you're loading it, another figure appears on the scene. You see this little dwarf come dancing out into this area like a ballet dancer, just spinning on the tips of his feet. And he comes out into the middle and looks at you guys, and with an extravagant gesture, he takes off his hat and bows to you.
Hello.
What's your name?
He stands up from the bow, looks at you, and gives you a big grin, but doesn't say anything.
Cool. I shoot him.
All right. What's in your weapon?
That's the smoke bomb that I just loaded.
Okay, go. Okay, so it's a smoke bomb, so it's not necessarily lethal.
Oh.
4.
4. Okay. He brings his hat around and catches the smoke bomb in his hat. And then turns the hat upside down, and you see smoke just start billowing out of this hat. And it quickly obscures both him and the women with the violins. And then as they vanish in smoke, you hear this maniacal laughter from inside the smoke. What do you guys do?
Everybody stay close. How big is the Sunspark engine again?
It's about the size of a person.
All right.
It's definitely something you move with equipment. It's not something you pick up. I mean, maybe with 2 or 3 people, you could manhandle it onto a truck, but...
Are there any horses or carts nearby?
Not that you can see.
Then we're just going to have to pick it up and put it in the boat. Let's go. Let's run and try to unhook it and get it out of here.
All right. You guys run up through the smoke, running over there. And as you're going, suddenly one of the women with the violin that was wielding a violin looms out of the smoke at you. And she has a knife in her hand and she goes to slash you, Callie, or Alona. What role would you like to make as you realize she is coming up to harm you?
Probably want to get out of the way. So what is that, finesse?
Sure.
And I'll spend some stress to bring that up to 2 die.
Okay.
All right. 2.
Oh no. Excuse me. That is a failure. She is going to cut you. It's not a lethal blow. Take a level 1 harm slashed. You have been slashed by a knife.
All right.
Somewhere in the fog, you hear a voice, a somewhat familiar voice. Meet the twins, violins and violence. One makes music, the other makes blood. And behind you, you see the man with the hammer emerge out of the smoke. Chad, he is taking a swing at you. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to be venomous, and the fog of smoke that I've been holding in for this time, right. I'm going to breathe in his face.
Okay.
So I'm going to push myself to exhale a vapor.
Okay. This is going to be risky because he is about to hit you with a hammer, but potentially great effect if it works.
And what am I rolling for this?
That's up to you. I would say maybe Tinker would be appropriate, or...
Tinker it is.
Sure.
5.
All right. You do blow it in his face, but not before he strikes you with the hammer with surprising force. What is the effect of the venom in this?
This is, again, narcotic to incapacitate. So knock him out.
Okay. He strikes you with the hammer. That is going to be that's going to be a level 1 harm bone bruise. I should mention, you guys always have the option to resist a consequence. Resistance takes a roll and can cause anywhere from 1 to 5 stress. Or you can just take the consequence.
I'm at 6 stress right now, so I'm going to take the consequence.
Okay, take bone bruise as a level 1 harm.
So I had level 1 from burnt hands and now bone bruise. Does that?
You can have 2, but if you get a third level 1, burnt hands is a level 2 harm.
Oh, okay.
But if you were to have 2 level 1 harms and then get a third, it would come in as a level 2 instead.
Got it.
All right. It's your guys' turn. What do you want to do?
Did I knock him out?
You did, yeah. That blows in his face and he collapses.
Can I just shoot the woman with the knife?
Sure.
Great, I shoot her.
All right. Make your roll.
All right. What is that?
Probably
To shoot.
skirmish? Maybe right?
Skirmish. Great. Cool. I'm going to spend 2 points of stress for another die. Oh my god. Okay, come on, dice. Let's do it. Let's be nicer to me. Be nice. They're not. They're mean. They're just mean. 3.
You take your shot and you miss. As you're doing that, though, let's see. There is sorry, Brandon, I should give you a turn before the next thing happens. What are you doing?
Should I do the thing? Distraction. Help us escape?
Oh, we're trying
Yes?
to get the Sunspark engine. I don't know if we want to escape.
Well, we need to get it and then go, right?
True.
If I blow a bunch of stuff up, we may have
right.
cover.
Sure.
Okay. Yes. In that case, I'm also going to take arcane implements off, as I will have implanted little crystals that respond to the explosive fertilizer type compound that I'm sure weed has helped me develop. And then I'm going to reach into the ether and try to trigger the arcane crystals to...
Okay, and these are your explosives?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will say I left one not directly where we came in, but like maybe one of the first places we stopped, and then the booth with the hammer, the guy with the fortune, kind of like anywhere we've been near, just kind of drop them behind.
All right, sounds good. Wow, so what are you rolling for this?
Boy, hunt? Would that make sense? Because it's kind of like setting traps.
All right. Sure.
I guess maybe prowl for like skulking around. I don't think it would be a tune. Well, a tune? If it's spirit world stuff, but no, that doesn't seem...
Just do hunt. Hunt is fine.
Okay. Here we go. 4.
Okay. You hear these, you trigger it and you hear these explosions, rock up all over the place. However, this seems to disturb the people of the carnival, and through the smoke and mist, you can see more of them running out of buildings nearby. Chad, you had your hand up?
If I may also do a flashback. So we know what the Sun Spark engine is.
Yes.
We know how big it is.
Yes.
We've always known. As we're going through and looking, as he's planting bombs, I'm pilfering pieces of equipment to help us move the thing.
To improvise a little trolley or something,
Yeah. So once we get up to the thing, like I've got a bunch of casters and some planks of wood and whatever else we would need to just load it and run.
Nice. Go ahead and spend the point of stress for the flashback and roll, I'm guessing, Tinker to rapidly assemble this thing.
4.
Okay. You do manage to assemble it, but it will function, but it is extremely noisy. The wheels clatter and clank no matter what. Are you guys moving in to try to load up this engine? Okay.
Yep.
Are you disconnecting all the wires that have been plugged into it?
Oh, we'd have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to be responsible for the tinker roll to do that?
That's me.
All right.
655.
Beautiful. That is a complete success. You you start detaching wires left and right. And you know how to do it safely. You know how to operate this machine. You start seeing lights go out left and right around this carnival. Right about the time you get the last one disentangled, there is a gust of wind that comes through, and it blows everything away. All the smoke, all the mist, it just blows things away, revealing all these carnies, many of whom have weapons standing around you, but also revealing this young woman in the gas mask standing in the middle of them, looking at you. And all the carnies stop and look at her like they're waiting to follow her cue. And in that moment, let's see. Callie, you guys are, as you're standing there, this gust of wind blows a newspaper in front of you that lands right in front of you, the latest edition of the newspaper, and it flutters open. And you see a page on it. It opens to a couple pages in, where there's a tiny article. You see a picture of a ship, a familiar Leviathan hunting ship. This is the one that you and your friends sometimes go out on. It's the one that Ross was just out on. And the headline is, Leviathan Hunter Lost at Sea. All hands presumed dead.
What? I look over at Ross.
I'm kind of looking around completely confusedly, muttering to myself, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. No, this isn't right. This isn't how it went.
The woman in the gas mask starts walking towards you.
I put up my pistol and I say, that's close enough.
She ignores you. And suddenly you notice that Ross has a gas mask on as well.
What?
Do I notice it?
Yeah.
Like I'm suddenly physically wearing a gas mask?
Like you always have been. Like you don't remember putting it on, but it's on.
I'm going to grab at it and I'm going to pull it off of my face.
Okay. When you pull it off of your face, you feel like you can't breathe. Your lungs are burning.
I'll pull it back on.
The woman steps a little closer to you.
What do you want with me?
Weed and Alona, I would like both of you to make a test. Decide what kind of action would be most appropriate to see if you recognize this woman. She looks very familiar to both of you.
Study.
Under the gas mask?
Well, it's hard to tell because she's wearing a gas mask, but you can see her figure. You can get a good look at her for the first time, everything except her face.
Gotcha.
6.
6. 2 6s.
Wow. All right.
About goddamn time!
Both of you suddenly recognize, both of you, now that you get a good look at her, it suddenly clicks and you realize you do know this person. She is someone very close to Ross. Ross, Brandon, out of character, you can choose. Is she your sister, your partner, or your significant other?
Your mother.
Is my sister and my partner.
All right.
Oh.
No, not like that.
Like business partner.
No, partner in the practice.
Oh, that part.
Yes.
Okay.
Sibling magic is incredibly powerful. God, you disgusting.
Look, we need to be clear about terms here. That's all I'm saying.
So you guys both recognize her. Ross has a sister who he works closely with. You suddenly realize this is her. You're pretty sure she was on the boat with him.
How would we know that?
Well, because they left together.
Was she part of our crew?
Not exactly, no. No, she's not part of your
But she would show up
She would come
from
around.
time to time.
Yeah.
And we knew...
He's like a contractor when you need an extra set of hands on a job.
Right.
Like, she's got her own thing going on, but every once in a while she shows up to help you out, help us out because she knows you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
And so...
But she's dead, obviously.
Well, we didn't know that. We didn't know. He could never tell us what happened on the ship, right? Like, he forgot the second half of the voyage. Ross, are you dead?
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can try to find something to do.
Do you have an action you want to take here?
Can you attune
To yourself?
to yourself? Like, is he dead?
He dead, dude.
Yeah, can I attune? Can I center my undead chi?
You
I'm going to
killed
put
Ross,
on-
you medieval dickweed.
I'm going to reach into, like, onto my belt, and I'm going to quickly untie a silver chain that has a gold pendant. I'm going to throw it around my head, and that is a Demon's Bane charm. And I'm going to hold it in my hand and approach.
Sarah, is it you? Is it really you?
She just approaches and you suddenly realize so you have disconnected the Sunspark engine. However, and all of you can see this, when the Sunspark engine was disconnected, it didn't completely stop glowing. There's one spot where it seemed to be pouring a bunch of energy into this vial. And the vial is still sitting there, even though everything's disconnected, and it is glowing. If any of you want to try to identify what's in it, you can. Hello, Kitty. But she, your sister, who you now recognize, she looks at that vial that's sitting by the Sunspark engine, and she looks at you, and she nods. And then she turns and she starts to walk away.
No. What happened? I don't remember the trip.
Ross, your memories are starting to flood back to you. And it hurts. How it hurts. You feel the heat of the flames on your skin. You feel the choking bite in the air as you were grasping for a gas mask. Your lungs are burning more than they have been. And you remember that you got the gas mask on. But even as you put it on your face, you realized you weren't fast enough. And you remember the explosion and the ship sinking. And you remember, in the seconds before you died, thinking Leviathan blood. There's power in that. There's power that can save me. You remember your own death. Take a level of trauma as you remember your death.
Holy fuck.
Skip stress, skip everything. The remembrance of your own death gives you a level of trauma. And you realize you are a ghost.
What?
So, well, hold on. Okay. I accept this and I love it.
And that is why you have had to take stress every time you interact with an object. Because in order to manipulate the physical world, you have to take a level of drain, which is what ghosts have instead of stress.
Oh my God. I was like, why is he taking stress for no reason?
Thank you. I've been sitting here like, am I just that fucking bonkers? Am I taking stress anytime I do something? Am I creeping myself out? Probably, but I'm into it. Shit. Okay, so as a whisperer, I have access to electroplasm vials, which are made from Leviathan blood and ectoplasm.
Okay.
If it has healing powers, could I drink one now? Or am I like fully incorporeal? Like so right now, if I move my hand through something without putting effort into it, does it just freely pass through the object?
Do you want to try?
I fucking do. Are you kidding? I'm a ghost. I want to see what happens.
Yes. You swing your hand at the nearest object and it goes right through.
I look at those two. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, but what's happening?
I'm dead.
And
yes. Wow.
But if you're dead, if your sister's dead, if you all went down with the ship, why? What's happening? What's up with that vial? Why take the Sunspark? Why did she send all these people to kill us? What's happening?
Oh, he wouldn't answer me. And then I remembered everything all at once. Oh, it's a lot.
The vial looks familiar to you now, and you're remembering the theory. You guys theorized once upon a time in one of your collab sessions that if you pumped enough radiant energy into pure Leviathan blood and ectoplasm, that you could create a power source strong enough to bring someone back from the dead. But there is only one vial here, and your sister is walking away.
Did she bring you back? But then how did she do any of this?
Well, I mean, ghosts are around. I mean, they do.
I'm gonna
our world.
The carnies are watching her as she walks slowly away, and you see like just love and adoration in their eyes. Many of them reach out a hand to her or fall on their knees, pleading toward her.
So the vial is empty or full?
The one in your pouch is not the one I'm talking about. The one in your pouch is just normal thing. I'm talking about the vial
that's what I mean.
Sitting in the Sunspark engine. It is full, and you recognize it is Leviathan blood that has been pumped full of radiant energy. You don't know what'll happen if you bring this. You theorized it might bring a dead person back, but you don't know that for sure.
One way to find out.
How would it work? Like, do I drink it?
You would have to drink it.
Okay, gotcha.
But there's only one vial, and she's walking away.
Ted, you said you were going to do something?
Yeah, I'm running towards the Sunspark engine, trying to grab the vial.
All right. The dwarf tries to step in your way. He's not attacking. He's just trying to block you with a little mocking grin. What action do you want to take to try to get around him?
How tall is he?
I don't know, a little over 4'2" or something like that.
Okay, cool. Parkour! Jump over him using finesse.
All right, roll it.
Get back in your thing. A 2.
Okay. That is not going to do. He blocks you. He catches your legs and you both go down.
Ow. That didn't turn out the way I really wanted it to.
So,
My elbow.
Ross, you instinctively realize you have a choice. You can follow your sister and go to wherever dead people go. Or you can drink the vial and try to stay. Or you could try to convince her to drink it. But it looks like she has engineered this, communing with the carnies and manipulating them to get the Sunspark engine to prepare this vial for you.
So what happened? I'm dead, technically, but I have burned lungs. So how does health work for me? Oh, it's a memory. So my lungs aren't actually burned.
I mean, you don't have lungs. To the extent that you have lungs, they are a mental construct. And the lungs of your mental construct are, in fact, burned.
Gotcha. So I have a mental construct of what my physical health is what I'm getting at.
Basically.
I will know when my ghost gives up the ghost.
Decision time. The clock is ticking. She's going to be out of reach in a few more seconds.
And I know she's dead. I drink it.
All right.
I drink it.
She reaches the edge of the circle and starts to fade away as you grab the vial and drink it. What action would you like to take to try to bring yourself back to life?
Oh my God, what?
I am going to compel my own spirit back to life. I am going to, let's see.
I am going to use my foresight, and 2 times per score, I can assist a teammate without paying stress. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to assist him.
Ooh. Very nice. What does that assistance look like?
I basically try to calm him down and center him so he doesn't freak out and ruin it. I say, it's okay. You're prepared for this. You know what to do. If you do this, you'll go down in the history books. You just got to be prepared.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yes. And I will, as a ghost, make the same motions I've done in the past and pull open the void, and I will say, "Come now, dread of darkest night, strangle out this wretched light. A flash of strength, a sip of wine, all things in time, some at great length." And I will reach through and try to grab my own spirit and pull myself back into myself. And I guess merge what I remember my body being like with who my spirit currently is, trying to remember myself.
All right. Chad, you had
Wow, this is meta. Mike.
While all this weird shit is going on around me, I look around, bandolier, the one thing I have left, contact cement.
What?
Contacts
Throw glue at me?
Yeah, I'm just like
Why are you throwing? Oh, so the glue onto
literally
the
trying to
physical
pass
plate?
through my body.
just trying to stick his spirit and his body back together.
Stick his spirit to his body.
Like how Wendy sewed the shadow back onto Peter Pan? Sure. Okay.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. You know what? Fuck it. Spend a point of stress to help him.
I just imagine like half the like paste passing through my incorporeal form and the rest of it like sticking to me, but also kind of inside my body as I recongeal back into a person. Like, oh.
All right. And you're drinking the vial, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Make your roll.
You'll-
You have 2 bonus dice. One from Callie and one from Chad.
Okay, so this will be a tune, or
You get to
if I'm compelling my own body back to existence,
All right. Then
and a
tune.
command that I give it.
Yeah, I think a tune is appropriate.
Okay, so I'm getting 2 extra dice. I'm already topped out at 3,
You
so
can
I
go
add
above
one
that.
more. I can go to 5.
You can.
Oh wow, wowzers! Okay, I guess I'll just roll 1 twice,
So you are really looking for a 6 on this.
and I will push my
FYI.
stress levels.
You can't.
I will push my stress.
You can't push it further. You've already gotten the bonus dice from them.
Okay.
The
So
only way
5
you
dice.
can
Here we
still-
go.
The only way you can still get another die would be a devil's bargain.
I mean, what do you have to lose at that? Well, you could go to hell forever or something like that. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
All right, you going for it?
I either want to be undead or
5
or
dice.
alive
Come on,
playing
you're
with
gonna be
undead.
fine.
Yeah. I got 2 6s. Okay, out of the first
2
4.
6s.
So that's 6, 6, 2, 2, and 3.
Bravo. You realize in that moment that your sister is a genius. The way she hooked all of this up, the proportions of the Leviathan blood to ectoplasm, just the right amount of power charged into this vial. It works. It fucking works. The power contained in this imprints off of the memory that your spirit has of a body to corporeate into a new physical form for you, to create a body for you. And when you take your first deep breath of air and your lungs don't burn, you realize it worked, and you realize how much you had lost without even realizing that you had lost it. Because suddenly you have it all back. You have breath, you have a heartbeat, you have sensations of the wind on the hairs on your arm. It's all here again. You're alive again.
This feels much better. Thank you, Sarah. I will find a way to bring you back as well.
All right, good, because we got to get out of here. So
Yes.
let's go. Come on.
At that point, the dwarf tips his hat, gives one more little bow, puts it back on, lifts his cane, does a little let's go gesture to the carnies, and they start leaving.
That means we can go. Let's go.
All right.
Would you allow me to say something to Sarah through the spirit world?
You can try.
Okay. I will just say, I will bring you back to.
You roll. What's your attune score? I'm gonna roll this for you. You don't know if she hears you or not.
It's 3.
All right. Oh, that's not a D6. Okay. You don't know if she hears you or not.
I am confused. If she just needed the sun engine, why didn't she come to us and get it from us and do it there?
We'll work that out later. right now, we're running away. We have the sun engine. We can get more Leviathan blood. We can bring her back later once we get the fuck out of here. Let's go, people.
All right.
And before these carnies wake up and realize they've been completely possessed for God knows how long. Let's get out of here.
The entire time.
You load up the Sunspark engine and you get out of there.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky,
The
squeaky.
whole way. It's so loud. You
Had
guys.
to grab the one with the wonky wheel, didn't you?
I'm working with what I got. Come on, man. You're corporeal again. Shut up. Let's go.
You get.
We have that rope still tied up so we can lower it down into the
You
boat.
can, yeah. You get back to your hideout with the Sunspark engine and get it reinstalled, and you have your teammate back, who you didn't even realize was gone. But now that you think of it, none of you had ever actually touched him since he returned.
He's not somebody that you exactly want to touch.
Yeah, no, he's kind of greasy and weird.
I certainly don't blame you for not wanting to touch me. I hardly want to touch me.
I mean, he was smearing his hand around in the blood. I mean, like,
Not
No
something you
thanks.
want to do.
So could they see me, or would I like phase in and out? Would I like all of a sudden just like a streak of blood appear or something?
No, you were completely visible. What you recall is that now that you have your memories back, is that as a spirit, in the moment of death, you drank Leviathan blood to turn yourself into an unusually powerful ghost.
Oh, nice.
That seems like the sort of thing you would do.
Yeah, totally.
If we continue the storyline going forward, new game plan, guys. Bringing the dead back to life.
bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead.
We're going to heist from death itself.
Oh no.
Yes.
I mean,
Angel of Death appears on our doorstep. I don't like this operation you have.
Yeah, here's a cease and desist letter from God.
From God, cease and desist from God.
knock it off.
So there are currently no plans for another episode of this. However, just in case, there's one more tiny scene.
Okay.
Not long later, Callie, your contact in the Evangelina household, Jenny, contacts you. And you meet up with her at a quiet little bar somewhere to get her message. And she says, Lady Evangelina found out that it was you who stole the Sunspark engine. And she is furious. She will stop at nothing to kill you and your friends and get it back.
I see.
This loss has ruined her fortunes. And with the collapse of her fortunes, she blames you.
Well, she shouldn't have put all her eggs in one basket. And I giggle.
All right. And I think that is a pretty good note to end on.
All right. We were going to do a raid, but I think we need to stop because we have a workman at our house who's fixing our leaky shower that has been leaking for like 2 weeks. So
we got to wrap it up.
Well, thanks for everybody who stuck with us. And
Yes.
thanks for everybody who stopped by to say hi.
Yes.
And thank you to Zero Lane for
No,
absolutely for the
kidding.
subs.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
And I hope you all can join in their footsteps.
Yes.
Oh, and we just got another subscriber, EJP
Thank you,
1230.
P1230. Thank you.
Thanks for the sub.
Tell your friends, like, subscribe, promote.
Yes.
Yep, join.
Tuesday nights at 8.
Tuesday night, guys.
Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
Next month, for our next one shot in another system, I plan on rolling out the 90s Street Fighter RPG. We are going retro. So stay tuned to check out a one shot of Street Fighter. I cannot wait, you guys.
I'm breaking out my fluorescent green tank top for that one.
Yes.
And
Call
as
dibs
always,
on Vega.
as always, Tuesday nights, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, D&D.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.